You remember that down to the centi?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Look at
2,057,519,900. About to commence proceedings on the debate of the 2025-2026 budget, which is in the amount of $2,057,519,900. I am here with my colleague Michael Gaspar. Welcome, Michael.
Merci un peu, Virgile. Nous passons à parler trop puisque nous avons commencé, nous avons cet agent entré et nous avons parlé plus tard. Mais nous avons un peu speaker qui a commencé à présent.
Let us pray.
God, His Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Mighty God, kings reign and princes decree justice, from whom alone cometh all counsel, wisdom, and understanding. We, thine unworthy servant, here gathered together in thy name, do most humbly beseech thee to send down thy heavenly wisdom from above, to direct and guide us in all our consultations, and grant that we have in thy fair always before our eyes, and laying aside all private interests, prejudice, and partial affections, the result of all our counsels may be to the glory of thy blessed name, the maintenance of true religion and justice, the safety, honor, and happiness of the King, the public weal, peace and tranquility of St. Lucia, and uniting and knitting together of the hearts of all persons and estates within the same, in true Christian love and charity, one towards another, through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. And the grace of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the love of God, the fellowship of the Holy Spirit, be with us all evermore. Amen.
Good morning, members. I'd like to begin by asking you to join with me in welcoming the students from Guyana. This is Stanislaus Secondary School, from 6 students from Guyana. Also with us to my left are representatives of the Carifta swim team. Sophia Parks was a standout performer. She got 8 medals. 4 gold in the backstroke 100, 400 individual medley, 200 butterfly and 200 backstroke, silver in the butterfly 100 and 200 individual medley, and bronze in the 200 freestyle and 200 breaststroke. With a total of 65 points, she earned the title of 11 to 12 year girls age group champion. In the 15 to 17 boys, Antoine Destin got silver 100 butterfly, bronze 100 freestyle, and bronze 200 freestyle relay. 15 to 17 boys, Tristan Dorville, bronze 50 butterfly, 50 freestyle, and 200 freestyle relay. A number of others participated. Kyle Charles, Ethan Hazel. We had Noah Dorville, Aaron Charles, Jaden Zhu, Faith Lubran, and Faith Jeffrey, Tristan Dorville, Ethan Hazel, and a number of them, even though they didn't medal, all got the personal best, and in some cases, new St. Lucia records. Members, I beg to announce that His Excellency the Governor General has been pleased to assent to the following bills: the Virtual Assets Business Amendment, Security Interest in Movable Property, Child Justice, Real Estate Brokers and Agents, Sovereign Wealth Fund of St. Lucia, Criminal Code Amendment, the Supreme Court Amendment, Land and Hand Tax Amendment number 2, Intellectual Property and Unfair Competition Miscellaneous Amendments, and the National Insurance Corporation Amendment. Members, when we rose on Tuesday night, the question before the House was that the Appropriation 2025-2026 bill be read a second time. Member for Castries Southeast.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Let me add my voice and welcome the students from Guyana as well, our athletes who represented us well in the Carifta Games. Mr. Speaker, allow me a brief moment to convey my heartfelt condolences to Miss Evelyn Fergus of Odsa on the passing of her daughter, Jacqueline Fergus. Only 2 years ago, Miss Evelyn Fergus lost her daughter, Denise Fergus, who was a former employee of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. She worked there for many, many years. And I also want to convey my condolences to the Eli Box family on the passing of Mr. Redmond. Approximately 3 weeks ago, I had a telephone conversation with Mr. Redmond on matters relating to Castries, Southeast, and some land issues. I wish them both peaceful rest and their families, Godspeed, God blessings as they mourn at this time the loss of their loved one. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to lead out in the budget presentations. Over the years, Mr. Speaker, we have come to expect the leader of the opposition to be the first to respond to the PM's presentation. But we seem to have a leader of opposition who has always been against the concept of first, like putting people first. But Mr. Speaker, whether I speak first, second, third, or last, it does not matter to me. What is of paramount importance to me is giving an account to the people of St. Lucia, particularly the people of Castries Southeast, on how we will continue to put them first. But Mr. Speaker, I don't really blame the leader of the opposition for not responding first, or even not responding at all. I mean, listening to the PM's presentation last evening, I lost all count of what he's going to do for St. Lucia. There are so many, without new taxes. And I could not help thinking of a few lines in a beautiful hymn penned by Annie J. Flint. He Giveth More Graces, the title. And this hymn was made popular by Brother Peter Patience of the Therefore SDA Church in my constituency. And the lines that come to mind says, His love has no limit. His grace has no measure. He giveth, and giveth, and he giveth again, unquote. So, Mr. Speaker, after such a generous, promising, and uplifting budget presentation, what is there for the leader of the opposition to debate? He must be at a loss for words. So I think, as he did last Tuesday evening, better off in taking notes for his new book entitled What I Shoulda Do or Coulda Do like PJP. But Mr. Speaker, to offer an account of our stewardship as the Minister of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment for the fiscal year 2025-2026, I will be guided by a theme. Social concerns, all social concerns are our concern. And of course, Mr. Speaker, moi vle di en créole, toutes affaires sociales, c'est affaires nous. Today's presentation represents the outcome and continued commitment to our national vision of service delivery on the premise of inclusivity, fairness, justice for the marginalized and vulnerable among us. Mr. Speaker, again, I need to emphasize the theme. Affaires sociales, c'est affaires nous toutes. Mr. Speaker, this theme implies our acknowledgement of a society's social concerns, like health concerns, poverty, dignity, and the rights of individuals. Of course, as a ministry, we advocate for shared responsibilities, shared partnership, and engagement in addressing these concerns. So, Mr. Speaker, again, I make a clarion call for collective responsibility in action. As such, I call on government, civil society, faith-based organization, Jeune Moun, Grand Moun, Tout Moun to join in. Mr. Speaker, I promise a guarantee that once we continue to make these social concerns a part of our constant conversation, we will undoubtedly pave the way for an inclusive, sustainable, and just St. Lucia. Mr. Speaker, before further ado, allow me to seize a brief moment again to extend gratitude to the people of Castries Southeast. Special thanks to those who lifted my name in prayers and those who continue to hold my hands up. Special thanks to my family, especially my lovely wife and children, for their unwavering support. I extend thanks and appreciation to the management and staff of the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment, and most importantly, to our service recipients. To our service recipients, thank you for trusting the process and giving us such a genuine privilege to be your voice and advocate on your behalf. Mr. Speaker, I am moved by a message in Matthew 20, verse 26 and 28, which reads, "Whosoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve." I thank God for the opportunity to serve. He was the perfect example of serving. It is because of His grace that I am able to offer myself to those who are voiceless. Most importantly, Mr. Speaker, thanks to our beneficiaries who gave us this opportunity to serve them and to help them navigate challenges. Mr. Speaker, I also offer sincere gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister, Philip Joseph Pierre, for his understanding and for embracing the ideals of this ministry, which represents the conscience of our governing system, where our mandate seeks to defend and empower the vulnerable while actively engaging in social and economic activities. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to share last year's achievement with this Honorable House. These actions certainly propel us to look forward to further engagement and collaboration. Mr. Speaker, like in past years, we remain steadfast in our commitment to promote inclusive growth while bolstering social safety nets. Our deliberate action as per this commitment stems from our capability approach, which forms the foundation of our action and intents. This approach was pioneered by an economist and philosopher, Amartya Sen, and further developed by Martha Nussbaum. This approach is a human-centered framework for assessing well-being, development, and social justice. It shifts the focus from mere resource distribution or economic growth to what individuals are to be and do, their capabilities and functions. In other words, Mr. Speaker, this approach provides the context of the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment. This approach offers a robust conceptual foundation that supports our policies and aligns activities with steps towards sustainable development goals. In essence, Mr. Speaker, the capability approach highlights well-being and participation rather than focusing only on economic indicators. The services at the ministry do not put value or dollar and cents on what people can contribute, but rather see people's capabilities and functions. Mr. Speaker, there is no price on capabilities of individuals, and the Honorable Prime Minister is interested in the empowerment and capabilities of individuals. Achievements. Mr. Speaker, before going any further, let me share with our attentive listeners the many ways that Affaires Sociales, Affaires Equity, as per our achievements. The first one, Mr. Speaker, I need to speak with: anticipatory action. Sometime last week, Mr. Speaker, the signing of the Anticipatory Action Cash Transfer Initiative, which seeks to provide coverage of financial support to vulnerable population before disaster occurs. We signed this agreement with the World Food Organization. We also recognize the signing of a technical agreement on adaptive shock responsive social protection, strengthening St. Lucia's social protection system to be more flexible and responsive during emergencies. Mr. Speaker, before going further, I would like to just focus on, at this time, on the St. Lucia Social Development Fund and its achievements. Mr. Speaker, educational assistance this year, in this financial year, increased by 1.5%. A total of 1,672 households received support. This was a result. This happened as a result of a slight saving achieved through recycling textbooks and a deliberate effort to secure supplies at a reduced price. Mr. Speaker, as well, I need to inform members that we provided 879 students with shoes, 785 students received uniforms, 558 students received books, 138 students are on a transportation system, and of course we paid tuition fees up to 75 students for SALCC, that's South Louis Community College, the university, care, and other institutions. For CSEC, we provided 54 students with support, preschool 42 students. Mr. Speaker, under the educational assistance, Mr. Speaker, we saw an increase in the number of persons receiving assistance, and of course this will continue this year. I will give some more information on this as we go forward. For household support, as it relates to housing assistance, a total of $1,395,000 was spent by the St. Lucia Social Development Fund on housing assistance to vulnerable people. Renovation assistance and support for expansion of houses, 110 persons receive assistance. For assistance for payment of rent, persons who had difficulties in paying rent, 42 persons or 42 households benefited. We built 4 new structures, and we paid utilities, water, electricity for 152 families. Our Boys Matters program, Mr. Speaker, is a very important program to the Ministry of Equity through the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. A total of 105 male students from secondary school, KES, SALCC, and A-level received support through our Boys Matter program. through this program, we provided groceries and food vouchers to 140 households, uniform to 103, transportation, 102 students received support, shoes again, school shoes, 101 students, meal allowance, 98 students received support on our Boys Matter program, books, 75, workshops, 70 students participated in parental motivational retreat workshops, care tuition to 14 students, CSEC 12, medical and psychosocial support of 11 students. We had summer camp 10, graduation and school fees we support 9 students, and of course we provided lessons to support them. 8 students received lessons. We paid KIP fees, utility, and we built 1 home in that regard. Under the holistic opportunities for personal empowerment, HOPE under SSDF, Mr. Speaker, it's an area where we provide a total support totaling $1,053,521.76. Under the HOPE program, burial assistance went to 88 households, small business assistance to 8 households, employment assistance 16, medical assistance 167 persons received medical assistance, domestic assistance 24, educational assistance continued through HOPE 57 households, housing assistance 26. We provided small infrastructure project 30 around communities around St. Lucia received support in small infrastructure project, micro enterprise 15, income support 25, sponsorship 96, approximately 563 persons were directly benefited under the HOPE program through the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. Apart from receiving those support, Mr. Speaker, we also have a job placement activity, and this is on the various sectors: health and wellness, hospitality, food and services, non-government organization, the private sector, public service, agriculture, social development, community development, education. 122 persons who are placed in gainful employment through the job placement under HOPE. Under the SSDF as well, through the SSDF, the Constituency Development Program received up to 30% of allocation from constituencies, and this amounts to a total this year of nearly $10 million, where 428 persons through the CDP received support, educational support, creative assistance, free social assistance, 244, medical assistance, significant, and 627, housing assistance as well, 653 through the CDP, employment assistance, sponsorship, small infrastructural project, 1,360, burial assistance under the CDP was 386, income support 367, and others. A total of 5,644 beneficiaries under the CDP. Mr. Speaker, through the SSDF, I'm talking about short-term employment. A total of 9,470 persons receive employment on the short-term employment, or what we call STEP. And of course, this aggregate in terms of 5,207 persons, 7 males were employed, and 4,263 females were included in short-term employment. Includes dishwashers, weed eaters, awarded small contracts for cleaning up, and of course most of you would have seen the activities that took place during the short-term employment program. A total of $6 million was expended on the program, covering wages, operational costs, waste disposal services. Mr. Speaker, under the SSDF, I also wish to submit that in the educational specific program for educational assistance supported a total beneficiaries of 7,115 individuals. Preschool was 201, infant level 910. Primary level, 2,898 students receive support under this program. Secondary level, 2,344. Tertiary level, 246 persons receive educational assistance. These were under the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. Under the Basic Needs Trust Fund, Mr. Speaker, there were 15 sub-projects under the BNTF program 10, and they were executed on the 4 core priority areas: education, human resource development, livelihoods, water and sanitation, and basic community access and drainage. In this regard, Mr. Speaker, we saw the rehabilitation of the Viewford Comprehensive School and Nutrition Lab at a total cost of 1.06 million. We had the after-school music program in Strozel at $302,828.50. We also have the rehabilitation of pre-K classroom at Babono Combine, rehabilitation of pre-K classroom at the Bishop Gashi Primary School, rehabilitation of pre-K classroom at Lakwa Mingo Combine. The Entrepot Daycare, including supply of furniture, received support. Rehabilitation of a wall block in the Soufre Primary School took place. 7 classrooms were upgraded. Construction of the Bele Early Childhood Center. Rehabilitation of the Labey Early Childhood Center. As business, strengthening capacity for economic viability in the creative industry, a total of $243,000 was expended. At Scape, a total of $722,000 was invested. That's through CDP, a music studio, and as well as construction of roads and drain in Goodland East. Goodland East, I said. Goodland East, yes. A total of 0.24 kilometers of road. Construction of a road at Crownlands Bexor, and installation of a water tank at Strozel. 100,000 gallons water tank was installed. Mr. Speaker, through the Kudme Setlisi at the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, this program is very important to the safety net and in managing what we do through the Ministry of Equity. The program design embraces a multidimensional and multi-sectorial approach to poverty reduction as it pivots from a narrow and silo approach. Mr. Speaker, a total number of individuals, a total of 53 households benefited from this program, with a total number of individuals 240, males being 118 and females 122. The program continues, but this year we saw a focus on persons who are on public assistance to assist in having them graduate from the public assistance program. Very important to the ministry also is the home care program, Mr. Speaker. 992 clients receive support from this program. Mr. Speaker, we have 242 clients who are mobile, 384 clients who are immobile, 366 with restricted mobility. The major conditions affecting the clients on the program: hypertension, 197 persons, diabetes, hypertension and diabetes 289, diabetes alone is 92, stroke 161, heart issues 42, dementia 203, blindness or visually impaired 111, cancer 43, amputation of both legs 9, amputation of one leg 45. This basically highlights the characteristics of the 992 persons who are receiving care. The team manages the implementation of the program, comprises basically of 8 supervisors, 21 constituency supervisors, 3 regional supervisors, and a program manager. Mr. Speaker, this program is very important to the Ministry of Equity as we provide support to individuals through the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. Mr. Speaker, I want to continue with programs through the Ministry of Equity, and the other one that I need to speak to is the Juvenile Rehabilitation Center. The implementation phase at this time, we've cleared the site. We have an approved technical committee. We have completed designs and have a big bill of quantities, and we are currently engaging the donor agency, the Caribbean Development Bank, for funding of this important facility. Offenders reintegration, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very important initiative. And under the St. Lucia Labour Party doctrine of bread, justice, and freedom, no other program accentuates the doctrine of the SLP than the ORP, Offenders Reintegration Program, because freedom, of course, is weaved in the very fabric of our being. And thank God I can say there is a key for every prison cell. So we provide an opportunity to reintegrate persons who have gone through our prisons with an opportunity, with a second chance for them to participate in livelihood and in our society. This program reminds us of the importance of freedom and how persons sometimes with good character can make mistakes in their life and find themselves in prison. So I'm happy to inform that with the 11 participants that participated with life skill training, we have 7 participants who are now placed on jobs and are getting on with their life as it relates to the Offenders Reintegration Program. Mr. Speaker, last year we provided 5,088 persons with $1,500 each under the COVID response project, and this certainly has been completed. We also have a counseling unit that provides support for individuals. But let me move on with this year's projects and what we intend to do. For the fiscal year 2025-2026, the ministry received an allocation of $58,629,500 Eastern Caribbean dollars, representing a slight decrease from the previous year, and this decrease is due to the completion and successful implementation of the COVID-19 responses, which catered to the needs of vulnerable persons in the form of training, renovation of the New Beginning Transit Home, and the one-time payment, of course, as I spoke about. Mr. Speaker, the allocation of funds for 2025-2026 are as follows: faith-based organization and social groups, community initiatives, psychosocial care and support, data gathering, St. Lucia Social Development Fund, disaster preparedness. Mr. Speaker, this ministry recognizes the fundamental role played by faith-based organization in social development, poverty reduction, and community resilience in St. Lucia. These roles are laced into the very name and mandate of my ministry. With this in mind, we recognize the positive impact of faith-based organization, and we conscientiously support them. Mr. Speaker, this support continues to enhance the effort to serve vulnerable persons. The ministry acknowledges the pivotal role that faith-based organizations play in society and notes that this role is only heightened through partnership. Yes, Mr. Speaker, let me reiterate the importance of partnership. It is through this partnership that we ensure support for social services and community development. Sorry, Mr. Speaker. It is through this partnership that we ensure support for social services and community development will tangibly impact more people, alleviate poverty, empower individuals, and foster inclusive and resilient homes and communities while addressing diverse needs. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a biblical example and a foundation for supporting faith-based organizations. These foundations are built on charity, unity, love, and service to others. These include feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, and offering drink to those who thirst, and shelter to strangers among us. The most popular one is found in the first book of the New Testament, Matthew chapter 25, verse 45 to 40. These verses highlighted the biblical foundation for supporting faith-based organization, emphasizing charity, unity, service, and stewardship. let's pay attention to the admonition that comes in this verse. And Jesus said, truly I tell you, whatever you did to one of these list of brothers or sisters of mine, you did unto me. So we believe, Mr. Speaker, as an SLP government, that when we provide to struggling families, when we provide support to pensioners, when we provide support to teachers, when we provide support to early childhood individuals, when we provide support to persons who are incarcerated and now coming out, we believe we are providing support to ourselves as individuals. The Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment engages with the faith-based organizations through policy collaboration, capacity building, community action. Mr. Speaker, it would be remiss of me not to highlight the Honorable Prime Minister's interest and care for those we serve. The ministry's work is easier knowing that our political leader views the function of the ministry through the lens of the capability approach. This approach aligns with our mandate, which seeks to promote human development, reduce inequality, and ensure social justice. As such, we receive an allocation of $298,542 in grants and contribution to faith-based organizations. Mr. Speaker, social groups and feeding programs will be happier this year. Ek mwen vle di a Creole, c'est l'illusion qui kay recevoir support from ministry equity l'année salak kay wede pour faire assez moun han mahe ek han difficulty support. Mr. Speaker, this is another meaningful activity on our part to better signature of Philip Cares, and no one is left behind. Mr. Speaker, community initiatives. Community initiatives are a critical component of the ministry's plan to promote equitable, sustainable, and inclusive development. These initiatives aim to foster long-term resilience, citizen empowerment, and social cohesiveness. For our after-school program, we receive an allocation of $777,295. This time around, we intend to have a center in each constituency to ensure equity and adequate participation. The after-school program aims to enhance the resilience of children and address the unmet needs through engagement in pro-social, skill-building activities with a safe, enjoyable, and child-friendly environment. The program is designed to foster the holistic development of children from disadvantaged backgrounds by mitigating various risk factors, including antisocial behaviors, while equipping children with essential life skills such as conflict resolution, which decreases the likelihood of them resorting to violence to resolve disputes. Moreover, there will be an emphasis on academic support, which will in turn address issues of low grades, reduction in school dropout, as well as truancy. Mr. Speaker, very important initiative this year is the rehabilitation of human resource development centers. I am sure that my colleagues will agree with me that human resource development centers are vital in fostering social bonds, promoting inclusivity, and building strong, safe human resource centers that provide a constructive and support environment for individuals of all ages. Mr. Speaker, the rehabilitation of human resource centers will enable government to fulfill its social and economic obligations to the citizens while also increasing local development activities. Additionally, it will empower the people of Lakwamengo, Lower Badni by providing them with fully functioning basic centers. The center will serve as a space for various social, educational, and recreational programs that contribute to the overall well-being of communities. I thank the Honorable Prime Minister for continuing the allocation and support of $300,000 to the completion of these centers. Mr. Speaker, this investment will not only provide a much-needed resource to the community, but also contribute to the broader objective of creating inclusive, thriving communities across St. Lucia. Mr. Speaker, infrastructure development programs. This government shares concerns about ensuring that citizens, especially persons with disabilities, marginalized youth, and the underprivileged receive adequate infrastructural amenities around St. Lucia. These individuals often face significant barriers and are unable to access sidewalks, business establishments, youth facilities, and other essential services. Recognizing the urgent need to address these disparities, the ministry has reaffirmed its commitment to empowerment, inclusivity, and the development of spaces that support vulnerable groups. In alignment with this mission, an amount of $5 million is allocated for the development and enhancement of accessible infrastructure. In this inclusive approach, funding will be directed towards improving public spaces, ensuring sidewalks, drains, footpaths, key facilities, youth recreational accesses, and spaces for underprivileged are fully accessible to all members of the community, regardless of their physical abilities, socio-economic status, and I hasten to add, regardless of their political affiliation. Mr. Speaker, I am a firm believer that providing basic amenities to our people is not a privilege to them, but it is a right. People need and deserve to have proper road access, proper drains, footpaths, etc., all the time. It should not be determined by whether they are loyal to a political party or not. For example, Mr. Speaker, the former parliamentary representative for Castries Southeast recently claimed that the Chopin Road was in a deplorable condition and the people had to repair it themselves. Mr. Speaker, if I were in his position, I would not say a thing. He spent 15.5 years in the constituency and did not repair the road. He claimed that they are mainly his supporters, yet he ignored them because he feels they are already secured in a bag. But that is a manipulative behavior. That is using the people, starve them to catapult himself back into power. But Mr. Speaker, I want to assure the people of Chopin that their roads will get the attended attention and they should not worry. And it is not being done for votes, but because they have a right to receive proper access to their homes. Mr. Speaker, this infrastructural development program marks a critical step towards creating a more inclusive society where every individual, including youth and the underprivileged, has equal opportunity to thrive, engage, and contribute. Mr. Speaker, all of these initiatives will not be effective if we don't have a conversation about the psychosocial care and support. Mr. Speaker, the provision of psychosocial care and support is one of the key functions of the ministry. This sort of support helps individuals enhance and restore the capacity. There is an adoption committee, and Mr. Speaker, this is one of the most important institutional mechanisms to guarantee that adoption procedures are moral, open, child-centered, and compliant with both national laws and international agreement in the creation and official approval of an adoption committee. This ministry overarching mission to safeguard vulnerable groups, advance social justice, and fortify family units depend on this kind of committee. Mr. Speaker, while this committee seeks to prioritize the best interests of the child in alignment with the United Nations Convention on the Rights of a Child, it also holistically observes the child and ensures that the adoption placement are safe, stable, and comfortable. Mr. Speaker, we receive an allocation of $41,368 for the management of the adoption cases through this committee. Yes, you everywhere. The Counseling Unit, Mr. Speaker, of Human Services and Family Affairs. Mr. Speaker, the Counseling Unit is a critical component of the ministry's mandate to promote social justice, equity, and dignity. The unit provides essential psychosocial support to clients, including individuals and group counseling, crisis intervention, and trauma-informed care. Mr. Speaker, this is one of the many ways that the ministry promotes inclusive, sustainable human development by integrating social protection system with emotional well-being. Furthermore, the unit will design and implement specialized programs to build psychosocial resilience, empowering clients to overcome adversity and improve their mental well-being through continuous function of rehabilitation, capacity building, and public education. Yes, it is. The transit home. Mr. Speaker, our children are at risk of abuse of all sorts. Unfortunately, some of our children become mothers and they do experience challenges at the nexus of puberty, maternity, and rehabilitation that calls for focused, considerate, and organized solutions. Within the walls of the semi-independent living unit that's at the transit home, teenage moms and their infants can strengthen their maternal attachment, acquire life skill, and get ready for a safe and supportive transition back into society. Mr. Speaker, with the advent of the semi-independent living unit, we can help promote dual development. Dual development will ensure that the infant and adolescent girls in foster care frequently manage their own emotional and psychosocial recovery while also learning how to take care of their newborns. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, this arrangement, coupled with an allocation of $15,000, is essential as it will protect the newborn from potential exposure of viruses, bacteria from other children, minimize noise disruption from other residents, and allow for a more focused supervision of both mother and her baby. Mr. Speaker, we will continue this year with the Juvenile Rehabilitation Center, which is a critical long-term project aimed at providing conducive environment for rehabilitation and education of young individuals. The ministry continues its engagement on the project with a commitment to providing a modern, effective facility that supports youth development and well-being. As work continues on the center, an allocation of $373,000 has been approved for the 2025-26 financial year. This funding is specifically earmarked to cover essential remedial maintenance work, ensuring the facility continues to progress and the structural integrity is in place. These funds will also support any necessary upgrades to the existing system aligned with the evolving needs of the project. While these funds are critical for ongoing operations, negotiations are still on the way to secure total funding required to complete the center fully. The final cost is expected to be significant, reflecting a comprehensive nature of the facility and the long-term benefit it will provide for youth around the island. Renovation of the Boys Training Center. Mr. Speaker, how much more time do I have?
19 minutes.
Thank you very much. I'm sailing. The ministry is committed to ensuring a safety and rehabilitation of children, recognizing that their well-being and successful reintegration into society are integral to this country's broader social goals. Mr. Speaker, we continue to improve on service delivery and safety for the children in our care. As such, we will address the issues that will compromise the integrity of the building and negatively impact the rehabilitation and protection. The center's programs resulted in several significant accomplishments during the previous financial year. We are pleased to announce the completion of the operation manual that guides the center. 65% of the staff have received training. The incidence of absenteeism have decreased significantly, and 40% of in-house population is preparing to take TVET CVQ examinations in welding. The center maintains a thriving egg production farm and has supplied many citizens with eggs at one of the most reasonable prices on the island. In fact, the member for Dennery, I said that we have at the Boys Training Center the best prices on eggs. Mr. Speaker, this is not a paid promotion, but a way to inform the boys about the activities of the center and the way of farming. And of course, we are promoting, actually improving food security on the island at every level. Additionally, 60% of the staff have received training in positive youth development and trauma approach. The aftercare program, which is designed to offer psychosocial and economic support to the occupants of the center, was provided by the center to 18 boys. 83% of the aftercare boys were exemplary citizens of St. Lucia and are thriving. The remaining 17% or 3 boys, Mr. Speaker, did not do as well as we would like them to. Mr. Speaker, the primary concern is the severe damage to the building, particularly the roof, which has become a contributing factor to the boys absconding from the center. The damaged roof facilitates escape, thereby putting the resident at significant risk, both in terms of their safety and the potential to engage in harmful activities once outside the center. Mr. Speaker, again, I thank the Honorable Prime Minister for the allocation of $167,000 to address the impaired roof. We remain committed to ensuring continuous safety and well-being of youth rehabilitation in St. Lucia. Data gathering, Mr. Speaker. The Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment received an allocation of $900,949 for the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey, commonly known as MIC-7. The primary objective of this initiative is to collect crucial data on sustainable development goals, including information on both national and international commitment made towards achieving these goals. Mr. Speaker, the collection of this data will play a pivotal role in the formation and development of national plans that aligned with the government commitments to the SDGs. We have embarked on training using a computer-assisted personal interview and a paper-pencil interview with field enumerators using for the listing and mapping activities. Likewise, stakeholders' engagement with sister agencies like the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, and the Central Statistical Office. Mr. Speaker, the data gathered through the survey will enable the government to fulfill part of its SDG obligations to the citizens of St. Lucia while providing the foundation for the creation of targeted programs that address the specific needs of identified individuals and communities. Additionally, the result of this survey will provide timely and relevant data on various population groups, helping to inform the development of support programs and policies. Mr. Speaker, the result will also allow us to make the necessary adjustment to strategies, ensuring continued alignment with both national priorities and international commitments. The only way we can know what is happening is through data collection. You must participate by giving honest answers. Moi, je voulais dire, c'est moun qui kay passé, kay mande cette liste question, by réponse, so nous kay troper vraiment ça nous ni pour connaître, so nous kay faire première décision avec l'argent gouvernement Kabano. Disaster preparedness. Mr. Speaker, I spoke of the anticipatory action earlier on. $600,000 was approved for the anticipatory action project. Mr. Speaker, this is a novel, and it is the only, St. Lucia is the only island in the region that's currently doing this project or have signed up for this project, the anticipatory action project. This project really is geared towards providing resources, and I'm going to say it as best as I can. Projet ça là ni $600,000 excès pour bay moun la si un cyclone ka vini avant cyclone nan rive. Idea e be ça nous ni en plan c'est pour bay moun la avant cyclone nan rive. So you kay préparer quoi yo. C'est pour ça yo ka kouye anticipatory action project. The project aims to strengthen the country's social protection system so that it can better respond to economic and climate-related shocks. The project focuses on building institutional capacity, refining the household's vulnerability index, enhancing digital payments mechanisms, and supporting livelihoods and food security. Mr. Speaker, I cannot help but to remind you, some time ago, I heard the statement during the COVID, if they don't eat, they will not die. If they don't eat, they will not die. Mr. Speaker, as it relates to food security, you cannot say that about about our people. In fact, there are some young men at a certain age, data would show that they consume so much that when they eat, the rest of the family are in problems. The 19, the 16-year-old, the 15-year-old young men that's starting to put on their size on what a view, or when I was 15 or 16, I used to take down some food. So the anticipatory action is to provide support to vulnerable homes based on that kind of information to improve their livelihoods and food security. The anticipatory action mechanism has been fully developed and it is ready for implementation during this hurricane season. There will be a simulation exercise in May 2025. This simulation exercise will test its effectiveness, identify gaps, and address inefficiencies before full rollout. The mechanism will facilitate cash transfers of 300 to 2,000 households will participate in the event of a hurricane and will receive cash through the I think it's a mechanism, digital payment, and of course we will see how this works with them. Mr. Speaker, it's important that we encourage the persons who would be in this to take it seriously, and once it is successful, we intend to roll it out in terms of a broader program so that we reduce our vulnerability in times of a disaster. Social Protection and Safety Net Program. The welfare unit is the arm of the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment, which is charged with managing social protection programs that specifically target poor and vulnerable individuals and families. Mr. Speaker, the two main programs are the public assistance cash transfer, and which is the largest cash transfer program in the OECS island. It's a significant.
Member, you have 10 minutes left.
Thank you. I'm not shadowing the leader of the opposition, but if I need to, I guess I will get more time. I will. I'm not. The two main programs are the Public Assistance Program, Transfer Grants, Child Disability Grant. Additionally, other social protection services include burial assistance, eye care services, fire victim assistance, emergency housing, and food vouchers. Mr. Speaker, we serve 3,554 persons under the Public Assistance Cash Transfer Grant. From this total, 545 persons receive cash grants from their sub-collectors, while 3,009 persons receive grants via electronic fund transfer. Mr. Speaker, I am proud to report that we have commenced the graduation of persons from public assistance. The graduation process using SLNet 3.0 ensures legitimacy of persons on public assistance. Mr. Speaker, to improve delivery of services, we have received an additional amount of $3,200,000. It's about 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. Just a second. Let me go now. Mr. Speaker, I must confess it is a challenge for persons to get off the program, but rest assured we'll continue to do our best. Mr. Speaker, the home care program is another significant program. And of course, Mr. Speaker, we have increased the program from $9 million to $10 million. This program aims to address the care gap for older adults and individuals with mobility challenges, a gap that has been created by changes in family structures, a high dependency ratio among older persons, economic pressures, and the growing number of St. Lucians affected by degenerative diseases, and an overburdened primary healthcare system. Mr. Speaker, focus is to provide primary healthcare services to the increasing number of functional or mobility challenged individuals to improve their overall healthcare quality. Additionally, the program aims to provide employment capacity and opportunities to over 500 St. Lucians. The creation of these jobs serves as a critical safety net, particularly considering the rising inflation and the lingering socioeconomic effects of this COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Speaker, we've received an allocation of EC $405,062 to continue the reintegration program this financial year. The program targets the offender reintegration program will address delinquency, crime among youth who are either not attending school or they are beyond school age. This program targets the main variables identified by empirical data as significant contributors to crime and delinquency, namely vulnerabilities and risk factors. BNTF 11, Mr. Speaker, will target 4 key sectors: water and sanitation, education and human resource development, basic community access, and drainage and livelihoods. The project will be guided by a country policy framework and will influence both design and activities of the program. The project is set to be implemented over 44 months with an estimated completion date of 31st December 2029. The project will be delivered through a social development through the St. Lucia Social Development Foundation, through the SSDF, and of course, Mr. Speaker, the government through SSDF is working to improve the social economic status of the poor and marginalized communities. The BNTF program will contribute a reduction to poverty and vulnerability by enhancing access to basic infrastructure, financial resources, and human services, all in alignment with the country's poverty reduction strategy. The program will continue its sector-focused approach, emphasizing 3 core priority areas: education, human resource development, water and sanitation, and basic community access and drainage. Additionally, the BNTF program will expand its scope to include support for productive livelihoods, including agriculture, food provision of assets, skilled knowledge, product, market information, and entrepreneurial development with a specific focus on youth entrepreneurship. For this purpose, we receive an allocation of $826,486. Mr. Speaker, through the development agenda in Castries Southeast, in keeping with these appropriation bills, as follows. We recognize the important areas highlighted through the Ministry of Equity and what have been discussed throughout the Prime Minister's presentation. And I wish at this time just to highlight how through the Ministry of Equity, through the BNTF program, that Castries Southeast will benefit. The Castries Southeast market, Cabinet has approved its site, and of course we will receive support to improve livelihoods for the BNTF program. Mr. Speaker, through this financial year, we are hoping to see the commencement of the construction of tombs in the Bexor National Cemetery. Mr. Speaker, also we will of course receive more details, but we will also have the slope stabilization by construction of retaining walls in Tiroche, as well as in Bexor and Goodlands. Drainage work will continue in Cooley Town, Cul-de-sac, Crownlands, and Mac, as well as Sarat. And of course, Mr. Speaker, we expect in very short order that the roads in Castries Southeast, especially the Lacwa to Odsa Road, will receive priority when the Minister of Infrastructure provides his account in terms of the work of the Ministry of Infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, there will also be very quickly the provision of lots
Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Standing Orders 32(8) be suspended to allow the Honourable Member an extra 10 minutes to complete his presentation.
Honourable Members, the question is that Standing Order 32(8) be invoked to allow the member for Castries South East an additional 10 minutes to complete his presentation. And now put the question, as many as of that opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. Please proceed, member.
Thank you very much. Thank you so kindly. So, Mr. Speaker, even before completing this outline in terms of how this policy statement will impact Castries South East, I further need to highlight, Mr. Speaker, that the Upton Girls Center, which is under the auspices of the Ministry of Equity, this youth development center offering therapeutic interventions including TVET training to youth and their families. The center accepts girls from age 12 to 17. However, a girl can remain up to 18 years at the center with a current cohort of 12 girls. There are 2 programs offered at the center: 6 months behavior modification that examines individual group counseling, basic mathematics, English, and therapeutic games to address self-esteem and self-awareness, and a 2-year training program that focuses on career growth and development. The center also offers aftercare support for 6 months, which entails individuals and family counseling, financial support, and the use and access of the facilities and the services as deemed necessary. Mr. Speaker, over the last 3 years, our enrollment has been 70. Over 50% of these girls return to secondary school to complete this level. The James Belgrave Microenterprise Development Belfund, Mr. Speaker, this enterprise is a St. Lucia government initiative established to empower low-income individuals by fostering sustainable microenterprise development. Operating under the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment, Belfund provides access to credit, business training, and technical assistance to support entrepreneurship and economic self-sufficiency. Over the past 3 years, Belfund has changed the lives of 97 loan recipients. Belfund also worked in collaboration with a sister agency through the SSDF. Through the SSDF, Belfund has distributed or disbursed 41 loans. One of those programs was specifically targeted to assist 20 women under the Vulnerable Women's Program. 128 households improved their economic status through the Belfund during this short period. Mr. Speaker, and finally, Mr. Speaker, I just need to highlight what is happening with regards to farmers in Castries South East. Mr. Speaker, within the Castries South East constituency, we have a large number of active farmers, including the butchers. In fact, Mr. Speaker, from the farmers database at the Ministry of Agriculture, we have 987 registered farmers, which means that an estimated 20% of the registered farmers is from my constituency. In fact, Mr. Speaker, all butchers are from my constituency as their parliamentary representative, recognizing the significant contribution of our farmers to the development of this constituency and by extension, food security. I have kept the farmers in this constituency at the forefront, supporting them and ensuring that they receive the necessary inputs to remain active farmers. My government, under the unleashing of the blue economy of the Caribbean project, provided farmers in the constituency with several agricultural inputs. Mr. Speaker, 208 1,000 gallons were given to crop farmers free of charge to ensure that they have adequate water to irrigate their crops during the drought. And Mr. Speaker, we did not forget our livestock farmers, those who rep pigs, cattle, birds, and small ruminants like sheep and goats receive 55 water tanks, 1,000 gallons under the project. Mr. Speaker, the government through the Ministry of Agriculture ensure that the banana and plantain farmers in the constituency receive agricultural inputs. Mr. Speaker, the farmers in my constituency receive 2,006 bags of fertilizers, 519 bags of diaphin, 517 liters of herbicides, 4,604 bags of lime. 42 farmers' laborers were provided to farmers in my constituency for 7 months to provide free labor to the farmers for harvesting and weeding, planting, etc. 384 liters of nematicide, 206 rolls of ground covering measuring 3 meters by 100 meters. Mr. Speaker, and 2,307 liters of banana spray oil were distributed to farmers to control leaf spot disease. Mr. Speaker, These figures are just the farmers in my constituency received, and the same was done for farmers throughout St. Lucia. But Mr. Speaker, I do not want to take any more time, but to highlight the importance of all what is being done by this government. Mr. Speaker, I really want to thank you for the opportunity to share, and I certainly look for the implementation journey of this fiscal year. In closing, Mr. Speaker, I leave all of us with this thought, the thought that an act of empowerment is an act of nation building. N'importe kachil pour bay pouvoir, c'est l'occasion pour bâtir un pays. With this in mind, Mr. Speaker, I charge all of us to be architects who will build our nation while empowering each other. Mr. Speaker, St. Lucia belongs to all of us, and may God bless the Prime Minister and each one of us as we move forward with the work of building this nation. Thank you very much.
Member for Dennery South.
Mr. Speaker, I stand here today in this august chamber with a joy in my heart, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, when I listened to the presentation by the Honorable Prime Minister on Tuesday afternoon, I was really, really excited that this Prime Minister had in his policy statement everything for every single person in St. Lucia, whether you are on the other side or this side. Mr. Speaker, I want to first thank the people of Dennery South for placing their trust and confidence in me in 2021 to serve them as the parliamentary rep. And I know, Mr. Speaker, when the next general elections is called, the people of Dennery South will ensure that Honorable Alfred Prosper remain the parliamentary rep for Dennery South. Mr. Speaker, I want to express my condolences to an individual who passed sometime last week, and his name is Keith Prosper, better known as SP. He's a member of the Prosper family in Dennery, and I want to take time to express my condolences to his family. I want to make special mention of my wife, my daughter Vicky and Crystal, and to say a big thank you to all the constituents of Dennery South who has assisted me in one way or the other to deliver quality representation to the people of Dennery, Lakai, Lime, and Delaide. Mr. Speaker, I move straight into the agricultural sector to state that food and nutrition security remains a top priority for the Ministry of Agriculture in this new budget cycle. The tasks ahead are clear, and our attention to food and nutrition security will not be diverted. As the global price of food continues its upward trend, our food import bill will also continue to rise, posing a threat to our food security. Mr. Speaker, as global food supply chain continues to show vulnerabilities, it is crucial that we reduce our reliance on imported foods and inputs. Our strategy now must focus on boosting local production, investing in value addition, and embracing input substitution. Mr. Speaker, the focus on the agricultural sector in the new budget year 2025-2026 is as follows. 1. Enhancing food and nutrition security. 2. Reducing food imports through the expansion of livestock production, fisheries, and targeted crops. Promoting agricultural innovation and technology. Strengthening the engagement of women and youth in agriculture. Building resilience and sustainability within the agricultural sector. Mr. Speaker, following an 8.9% decline in the real value added in the agricultural sector, it is estimated that the sector grew by 10.3% in 2024, with all subsectors registering growth. Mr. Speaker, I will repeat, 8.9% decline in 2023, grew by 10.3% in 2024. That is more than 19%, Mr. Speaker, in 2024. And Mr. Speaker, when I hear from the other side that you mettez un ministre agricole, mais c'est la forêt, il te travaille. They made it look like they had no knowledge in agriculture. But I want to remind them, the Forestry Department was part of the Ministry of Agriculture that I served for 34 long years. Mr. Speaker, amidst the positive developments, the sector continued to grapple with supply-side pressures, such as high production costs and adverse weather patterns. Notwithstanding the relatively high cost of production within the sector, livestock production improved substantially as key producers scaled up operations in response to robust domestic demand. Je voulais dire ça en créole pour tout le monde comprendre. Dat l'année passée, valeur value added dans secteur agricole là descend pour 8.9%. Mais l'année passée, ça c'est 2024, value added dans secteur agricole là monté par 10.3%. Et ça c'est un bon bagage pour agricole en secteur agricole là. Because nous savons l'importance secteur ça là, là il vient pour manger. Et puis nous tous savons manger, nous comme ici, nous quand importer un chai. Et puis gouvernement Saint-Lucie, gouvernement ça là part of comité pour aider femmes avec nous ba femmes en chai support. Chaque lait moins monter descendre moins avec différents monde yo ka di gouvernement Saint-Lucie, gouvernement Labour Party qui jabay plus support pour femmes et secteur agricole en Saint-Lucie. Et ça c'est un bagage nous va continuer because gouvernement ça là copan ça y est pour nous ça produire manger dans nous manger ici. Nous ne pouvons pas produire ça, nous pouvons manger ici, planter ça, nous pouvons manger. Et puis le gouvernement, ça là, dans ce part-of là, j'ai fait un chai pour aider les femmes, pêcheurs et l'autre monde dans le secteur agricole là, pour faire ce qui est nécessaire pour nous continuer à travailler pour nous mener imports là, of ces manger, nous pouvons mener Saint-Lucie, descendre as bas as nous ça. Pour nous ça continuer ensure that nous avons fait un gros effort pour nous secure manger. Mr. Speaker, I now move to the banana industry. The government of St. Lucia remains committed to St. Lucia's banana industry despite the following setbacks in 2024, which includes shortage of domestically produced boxes. Moi, si on change l'année passée, nous avons un problème avec Winera. Côté nous partisans, ces boîtes là, ces femmes, tes bousins pour te mettre figues là, à pour voir l'autre pays. We had a severe drought in the first quarter of 2024. Et puis, vous savez, nous avons Hurricane Beryl in July. But further to that, in November of last year, we had the black Psychosocial disease owing to the shortage of spray oil in November. Ça, c'est le black Psychosocial disease là, spread rapidly en ces différents parties pays. Et puis, en chai, ces femmes figues like banane, pour an extent, étaient trouvé affectées. Mr. Speaker, there was an overall increase in the domestic production and export of bananas in 2024. Total banana export rose by 10.1% relative to 2023 to 2,512.8 tons in 2024, of which 98.7% were regional sales. Domestic purchases of bananas by supermarkets increased by 15.6% to 1,308.7 tons, while hotel sales fell by 4.0% to 171.6 tons. This decline, Mr. Speaker, in hotel purchases was mainly due to the closure of one major hotel for all of 2024 and 3 other large hotels during the second half of 2024. Although the quantity exported and sold to supermarkets and hotels resulted in an expansion of 11.2% in total estimated banana production to 3,993.1 tons in 2024. Despite intense competition from the Dominican Republic and Suriname, regional export volumes expanded by 9.1% to 2,480.2 tons in 2024, reflecting enhanced shipments to key Caribbean markets. Notably, exports to Trinidad and Tobago increased by 16.2%, reaching 444.3 tons, while shipments to Antigua and Barbuda, the region's largest market, increased by 4.3%. Positive outcomes were also registered in non-OECS markets such as Barbados, whose importation of bananas grew by 7.1% to 774 tons, and St. Martin, which grew to 0.2 tons in 2024. Revenue generated from regional banana exports rose by 6.6% to $3 million in 2024. Banana exports to the United States Kingdom fell from 8.4 tons in 2023 to 7.4 tons in 2024. But moi savons que les banana exports pour UK, que c'est fig fama kavoué yo kavoué après. But l'année différents monde qui a exporté manger from St. Lucie pour London et puis yo kavoué bagay ko da Chine, bagay ko bois pain, bagay ko yam et aussi yo kavoué fig. Mr. Speaker, the banana industry is still a significant source of income and employment for many households in St. Lucia. Our bananas are still in great demand locally, regionally, and internationally. The government will continue its subsidy program on inputs such as spray oil and fertilizer to farmers to reduce cost. In the coming year, there will be greater collaboration between the Ministry and Export St. Lucia and the other stakeholders to maintain and explore export opportunities within and outside the region. Mr. Speaker, in order to continue providing input support to our banana farmers under the component of the UBEC project, our banana farmers receive 21,000 bags of 25 kg fertilizer, 21,000 bags of agricultural lime, 2,000 liters of nematocide, 774,000 banana bunch covers, as I say, sleeve la, nou ka mette an lese fig la, and 9,000 liters of herbicide, Mr. Speaker. Ça c'est un chay support gouvernement that moi c'est part of la ka fait pour assurer nous bail support pour farmer fig, farmer banana avec l'autre farmer assent ici pour assurer that nous continuer produire, manger, nous continuer faire ça qui est nécessaire pour tout mon secteur agricole là, un support qui est nécessaire. Mr. Speaker, most, if not all of those figures were not figures that just came from the ministry. It's figures that came from the 2024 Social and Economic Review. So c'est moun nan ki ka di agriculture pa fanyen, nou pa ka fanyen bay fama. Mon vle yo mande pour un document yo kouye Economic and Social Review of 2024 ek adan ou ka wè tout sa mwen di la ek tout l'autre information qui ka veni pour agricole. Because I want to remind you, and I want to remind them, Mr. Speaker, we were not in government when Windfresh collapsed in 2019. We were not in government when the ripening facility in London was sold, Mr. Speaker. We were not in government, Mr. Speaker, when the shipping line that was responsible for taking our bananas to the UK within 2 weeks was also sold, Mr. Speaker. Il fait about dernier gouvernement et puis nous travaillons pour ensure that nous joignons plus market by farmer fig, egg banana and other agricultural. And we never promised, Mr. Speaker, to send or export any bananas to France. Because the même ministry already was in forestry. Même ministry you can di ma connaître about. Moi te là, là yo try voyer un container fig en France. Mais là il veut l'Angleterre, il part ça aller plus loin. Et Dieu c'est moi qui dis ça. Mr. Speaker, in the area of non-banana crops, I say bagay konta Chine, yam, bois pain, it is non-banana crop production is estimated to have grown by 5.5% in 2024, reaching 3,036 tons. In addition to generally less adverse weather conditions relative to 2023, this annual growth was also supported by farmer resilience and government interventions throughout the year. Government support contributed to the gains realized within the sector in the form of distribution of donated water tanks, fertilizers, pesticides, seedlings, nylon bags, trays, and personal protective equipment to farmers under the unleashing of the Blue Economy Project and the second phase of the 7 Crops Program. Aggregate revenue from non-banana crop sales to supermarkets and hotels increased by 18.3% to 19.7 million in 2024. Of these sales, Mr. Speaker, of non-banana crops to supermarkets registered notable growth of 27.8% in 2024, with total revenue increasing to $14 million in 2024. This reflected both the increase in volume of non-banana crops purchased by supermarkets by 9.3% to 2,347 tons, as well as a higher unit price in 2024. In the fisheries sector, Mr. Speaker, Over the past fiscal year, our ministry worked in collaboration with national stakeholders and development partners and made significant progress in advancing both marine capture, fisheries, and aquaculture. Mr. Speaker, the fishing industry experienced an overall decline in annual harvest volume during 2024 compared to 2023. Despite fishing trips increasing by 5.5% to 26,869 total, while marine capture fell by 10.0% to 1,238 tons, due to an array of environmental factors such as less favorable ocean conditions, recurring sargassum, seaweed, and climate change. Additionally, flying fish fishing yield per trip declined by 19.3% when compared to 2023 to 0.5 tons. Consistent with heightened demand, shark and tuna species experienced gains of 16.5% to 2.8% and 20.3% to 67 tons and 382 tons respectively. The majority of landing sites reported reduced fish landings, particularly Fisheries, Ancillary, and Savans Bay, where volumes fell by 42.2%, 32.1%, and 34.8% respectively. Conversely, Mr. Speaker, Groseley, one of the main landing sites, recorded an increase of 18.2% to 119 tons collectively. Dennery, Viewfort, and Groseley accounted for nearly 60% of total fish landings. So c'est à Dennery, Viewfort et Groseley qui mènent ensemble plus poissons à terre pour l'année passée. The highest stemming from reduced fish landings and higher unit prices, total revenue from wild marine landings decreased by 5.2% to 25.6 million in 2024. The fishing subsector accounted for approximately 12.4% of real GDP value added within the agricultural sector. Mr. Still on fisheries, through the strengthening sustainable use and management of coastal fisheries resources in the CARICOM countries project, which is funded by the government of Japan, community-based CMOS farming has expanded, creating income opportunities and engaging youth in sustainable aquaculture. Mr. Speaker, under this project, better farming methods have been introduced to the CMOS farmers, which has helped address several of the issues faced by them. Mr. Speaker, there is now an upsurge in CMOS cultivation in St. Lucia. Our CMOS is in high demand in countries like Australia, the United States, and the European Union. We are really encouraged by the participation of youth in CMOS farming. In our unwavering commitment to the safety of our fisher folks, the Ministry of Agriculture under the UBEC project procured 400 safety grab bags, each containing essential life-saving equipment, including VHF radios, sea anchors, flares, and first aid kits. These critical resources will be distributed or have been distributed to fisher folks to ensure that they are well equipped to handle emergencies, especially in the face of unpredictable weather conditions. So, je voulais dire ça en créole pour tous ces pêcheurs, ces gens qui en CMOS là, nous avons joué market neuf by moun qui produit CMOS en Australie, en US là, et l'autre gros place en European Union pour continuer voir CMOS nous là. Nous savons CMOS nous c'est plus bon CMOS en haut la terre et puis nous voulons assurer nous faire toute bagaille qui est nécessaire pour ensure nous produire bonne qualité CMOS pour voir en ces places là. nous, en bas projet, nous créons UBEC project là, acheter 400, ça nous va créer safety grab bag. Ça, c'est un special bag qui a GPS radio, il y a flares, il y a first aid kit. Et chaque c'est mettre connaître cette Lucia, kai ou jajoignon pour yo mettre à bord bateau yo, pour yo aider ces gens qui aller la mer. Ou si en tous les cas mauvais temps, si en tous les cas un monde malade ou ni équipement là pour ça faire connecter à terre et bien pour ça traiter corps aussi en tous les cas ou en danger. This is a very important safety grab bag, Mr. Speaker, and I do hope our fishers will make good use of them. Also, Mr. Speaker, in 2024, 55 brand new quality ice coolers were procured and distributed to fishers. So c'est cooler, c'est go cooler blé avec l'autre cooler qui en laisse fishing pot là, ça c'est gouvernement Saint-Lucie qui fait cadeau pour ces pêcheurs because nous voulons nous can mettre poisson dans des conditions qui bonne qualité pour nous vendre by moun. Il pas faire pièce sens pour sortir la mer poisson à bon bateau pour la journée et pour panier à côté pour mettre pour aller vendre li demain et bien n'importe là où vous voulez. So nous avons fait avaler 55 ces cours ça là et puis ces pêcheurs qui fait bon use of you. We have also purchased, Mr. Speaker, under that project 10 new ice machines, Mr. Speaker. And as we speak, in the various landing sites, measures are being taken to ensure that those ice machines are installed and so our fishers can make maximum use of those coolers. 122 vessel monitoring devices have been installed on boats around the island. Now, moi savons, ça c'est un équipement qui est important pour les pêcheurs qui sont en danger. Mais nous avons free of charge et puis moi, un petit mètre concerné, that un bagage qui est très important comme ça, nous avons des pêcheurs, mais là, les pêcheurs qui disent pas qu'à mettre en l'économie. Mais moi, je voulais dire, nous avons 300 et puis nous avons 122 et moi, je crois important pour pêcher pour l'avantage de ça. Mr. Speaker, the Marine, in collaboration with the Marine Ministry of Agriculture and the Marine Police, we trained over 100 fishers island-wide as boat masters. This comprehensive training program ensures that our fishers are equipped with the necessary knowledge and skills to operate the vessel safely and to comply with maritime regulations and contribute to the protection of our marine resources. Mr. Speaker, my ministry contains fishers with the tools they require to succeed. In the last financial year 2024-25, Mr. Speaker, the following works were undertaken at the various fisheries facilities. In Viewfort, painting of Fishers Market, construction of a perimeter fence, and other minor repair works. In Soufre, we undertook structural repairs and plumbing repairs. In Grosile, construction of a much-needed administrative building, electrical upgrades, and other minor works. In Dennery South, Mr. Speaker, the construction of a perimeter fence and also desilting the fishing pond just last month, Mr. Speaker, and also to remind them that we are now installing a new ice machine on the Dennery fishing port. In Meagood, Mr. Speaker, repair works was done at the Parametric jetty and construction of a shed to house a new ice machine. In the new financial year, Mr. Speaker, we will be continuing to do further upgrades on the Parametric jetty, Mr. Speaker, and I know the member for Meagood North is anxiously waiting to hear this coming from the Minister of Agriculture. In Savans Bay, repairs to the jetty, Choiseul, minor repair works, Savans Bay, repairs to the jetty, Ancillary, minor repair works and electrical upgrades, and in can, Mr. Speaker, repair works and upgrades. Mr. Speaker, we will continue our improvement efforts at all of the landing sites in the new fiscal year, with local funding approved in the new budget as well as grant funds under the UBEC project. 3 of our major undertakings for the new fiscal year, which is worth highlighting, is 1, major rehabilitation works at the Viewfort Fisheries complex. And I repeat, Mr. Speaker, major rehabilitation works at the Viewfort Fisheries complex, and an allocation by the Prime Minister in the tune of $900,000 is available for this. We'll also be doing major roof repairs at the Casseries Fisheries complex due to the presence of asbestos, and we will be rehabilitating the Union Aquaculture facility. Mr. Speaker, in the area of livestock, following a 24.9% contraction in 2023, preliminary estimates show that real output in the livestock subsector partially rebounded, expanding by 18.2% in 2024. This subsector accounted for 15.6% of GDP value added and 0.2% contribution to GDP. Production increased in all industries within the livestock subsector in the review period amidst the constraining effects of a further elevation in feed costs, which accounts for the majority of approximately 70% of total production expenses. Mr. Speaker, we know the high cost or the increasing cost of feed is placing tremendous pressure on our livestock farmers, and in some cases, feed is responsible for 70% of the total production expenses. Mr. Speaker, my government will continue to work closely with the livestock farmers, Mr. Speaker, to see what can be done to assist them in addressing that problem. Chicken and pork production increased by a combined 29.5% in 2024, reaching 3,594 tons. Consumer demand for local chickens strengthened despite price increases, which were driven by higher production costs. After declining by 9.7% in 2023, chicken output expanded by 28% to a record high of 3,095 tons, primarily due to operational scale-ups by major industry players. Mr. Speaker, in terms of egg production, following a turndown in 2023 when output decreased to 1.7 million dozen eggs, egg production rebounded by 5.5% to 1.8 million dozens in 2024. This recovery stemmed primarily from capacity enhancements implemented by larger producers. While in early 24, drought conditions raised production costs, donated water tanks through government interventions with Mambayako. This time, the poultry farmers provided some relief to producers. Mr. Speaker, the new livestock station at Volet, Mikud, is now operational. However, there are still some critical works left to be undertaken in the new fiscal year. Local livestock enterprises will now be given the platform to produce a significant proportion of the livestock needs of the country. According to records of the Veterinary and Livestock Unit, for the past 3 years, there has been a notable growth in the number of registered young farmers in the livestock sector. So nous avons plus jeunes moun qui entré en affaires production animaux en cette ici. Et puis nous croyons que c'est un bon bagage because nous ni as un gouvernement pour continuer à travailler pour nous mener des scènes sécurité manger nous ka mener en tout et moi crois les jeunes moun en tout en secteur ça là il caille un bon bagage pour nous ça reduce as a food import bill no. Mr. Speaker, as we continue our efforts to build resilience and capacity within the livestock sector, it is worth mentioning that through the sub-component of the UBEC project, livestock farmers were able to benefit from the donation of 751 1,000-gallon water tanks to help improve water conservation and storage and food safety on farms. 751 livestock farmers benefited from the water tanks, Mr. Speaker, because we know as we speak we are in the dry season and we know the challenges faced by our farmers with regards to water quantity and consistency, and that was the reason behind assisting our farmers in getting those water tanks. Additionally, as a first step towards improving the productivity of our local livestock population, a total of 190 animals were imported from North America, which comprise of the following breeds: 82 pigs of 5 different breeds, Mr. Speaker. 82 pigs of 5 different breeds, 8 heads of cattle of 4 breeds, 51 sheep of 4 breeds, and 49 goats of 4 breeds, Mr. Speaker. These animals have been incorporated in the Vollet Livestock Station, and the national breeding program is now fully on the way. Following our schedule of activities under the breeding program, new stocks should be available for sale to farmers by the end of the 3rd quarter of the new financial year. So nous portons ces animaux ça là sorti l'autre pays because ces breed là nous ici nous pas croire était bon assez pour aider nous à la manière nous développer pour improver livestock sector et nous mener ces breeds ça là from l'Amérique et nous kay breed yo et puis jeune monde qui est présentement en livestock sector kay sa vini et bien aller en mikou à Vollet Livestock Station et acheter ces animaux ça là pour lever et pour produire pli. So Mr. Speaker, we are doing quite a bit in agriculture, but yet you can do makafayen because ma connaît en agriculture c'est forestry mon connaît. But Mr. Speaker, I am very proud and happy to speak of the achievements in the agricultural sector that not only me can say that it's done by me, but all the stakeholders, the cabinet, the Prime Minister, and all my staff of the Ministry of Agriculture who made it possible. Mr. Speaker, we have a situation where in the valley areas especially, we are seeing parcels and parcels of land being abandoned, Mr. Speaker. No one is occupying it, and you see a set of vegetation that indicates clearly that there is no intention of the landowner or farmers cultivating this, Mr. Speaker. In considering that, Mr. Speaker, and considering the importance of our food security, we have submitted for the Ministry of Finance a proposal which was approved for a 3-year period, and we are targeting 100 acres of land in the valley areas that are no longer under banana cultivation. And as I look on my left, I see the minister or the parliamentary rep for Soufre applauding, because I remember that is a concern that she has raised at the cabinet level many times before. So, Mr. Speaker, we have a sum of 3.7 million EC dollars that will be used to cultivate 100 acres of land with coconut, mango, breadfruit, avocado, and soursop, Mr. Speaker. So far, Mr. Speaker, we've identified and appointed a project coordinator. The project was launched in October 2024. A tree-crop baseline survey has been conducted to gather information on the state of tree-crop farming, Mr. Speaker. In the coming year 2025-2026, we will formalize MOUs with participating farmers. So nous avons ni un special MOU, ça a créé memorandum of understanding avec toutes ces méthodes pour nous agir, pour nous d'accord avec nous qui ça yo kay vle planter la terre. Il pas faire pièce sens pour aller travailler et un farmer et ouvre il pas vle ça ouvre mettre. So we will have an agreement. So si c'est mango tout seul livré, si c'est bois pain tout seul livré, nous sommes d'accord et puis so il pas qu'à venir derrière et appuyer et puis pour couper ces plans ça là. So Mr. Speaker, we are doing very well in this area and I am hoping that we can continue to provide the assistance to our farmers. Mr. Speaker, the agricultural sector is very susceptible to frequent natural disasters, which have placed significant strain on farm holders for decades. Building resilience is not only about the construction of robust infrastructures and implementing smart farming systems, it is also about how quickly we recover from the impacts of these devastating climate events. To modernize and create a more resilient agricultural sector in the face of climate change, the acquisition of a parametric insurance policy is of the highest priority. The Ministry of Agriculture, with the assistance of Lynch Insurance Brokers, has now finalized the procurement of a parametric insurance policy which will provide insurance coverage in the first instance for banana and plantain farmers commencing May 2025, for a period of 12 months. Mr. Speaker, the insurance product will be launched on Thursday, May 8th, 2025. Et mon vle dit ça en créole. Toutes l'année, nous avons disaster, nous avons hurricane, nous avons storm, nous avons chay la pluie. Secteur agricole a trouvé dévasté, mauvais. Et en chay, nous dépendons à ce gouvernement Saint-Lucie pour bailler support qu'on nous fait dernière fois un problème là nous tenir avec black secret quoi là nous pas l'huile. Et bien nous mettre en place un insurance qui a aidé farmers qui affecté les venus pour disaster et puis nous avons commencé et puis $1 million moi voulais oui merci Premier ministre il bon nous 600 000 l'année passée et qui bon nous l'autre 400 000 l'année ça là so nous $1 million that nous avons commencé depuis l'année ça là pour mettre un programme en place pour insurance by farmer et puis farmer fig et farmer banane. Na moi si we en chay moun kay dit pour tisser farmer fig et farmer banane mais changer là on y pièce govan c'est farmer fig et farmer banane qui a trouvé affecté premier. Mais aussi nous parlons en chay l'argent actuellement pour nous couvrir pêcheurs, pour nous couvrir moun qui en légumes, moun qui en livestock, moun qui produisent poules, moun qui produisent et puis nous avons fait un commencement côté nous avons fait plus grand pour avancer et bien mener tout le monde ensemble. Mr. Speaker, we are also going to commence or continue a farm labor program commencing July of this year to assist farmers who are challenged with the unavailability of labor. And we are hoping that, Mr. Speaker, we will employ nearly 100 workers like we did under the UBEC program to assist farmers for a period of 6 months. We have in the budget an allocation of $600,000 that is going to be used to provide farm labor support to our farmers. So, je veux dire encore that l'année passée, nous tenions un programme côté nous avons des farmers et puis nous avons des travailleurs côté yo pas tenu pour payer pour ces travailleurs ça mais programme là de payer pour eux. Now maintenant chaque différents concerns farmers te dit là vini pour dans manière c'est travailleurs de fait. Nous a review ça et puis nous quoi l'année ça là nous continuer nous avons un different approach, un approach qui est différent. Because les moyens dans ces farmers, ils disent c'est vont mieux nous service ces travailleurs et puis ils te payer, nous payer ces travailleurs ça directly for you. because c'est travail ça, you trust you comprend ça, you ka faire, you a habitué, you en relation et puis et que de ici mais qu'on a passé nous mener monde that you pas connaître et puis ça c'est dans ces bagages là nous ka travailler sur. Mr. Speaker, agricultural innovation, as we recognize the need for innovation and use of technology in revitalizing the agricultural sector, the use of technologies in agriculture in other jurisdictions has proven to increase yields and profitability and increase the appeal of agriculture among the younger generation and women in light of the aging farmer population. With the past 3 years, we have made various programs available to young people interested in the agricultural sector. We are very encouraged by the enthusiastic response to these programs. For example, the mushroom production and training in agribusiness project. More recently, we have now introduced the shade house hydroponics farming systems project. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, 2 shade house hydroponics systems have been constructed at the Union Agricultural Station. This transformative initiative is a direct outcome of the strong partnership between the governments of St. Lucia and Guyana. The 2 hydroponics units are expected to be in operation in May 2025. The key benefit of using hydroponics farming system is that in a hydroponics setup, farmers do not need to use harmful chemicals and pesticides, given that there is less risk of pest infestation. Mr. Speaker, we have gotten funding from the government and people of Guyana to help us in the construction of 2 hydroponics systems that will
Remember, you have
use,
15 minutes left.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That will be used to increase our leafy vegetable production by reducing our food import bill. But at the same time, Mr. Speaker, we want to have a youth engagement where students from various schools and other institutions can work with the Ministry of Agriculture to boost their, to work on the SBAs, Mr. Speaker, and to get the level of training that is needed for them to move on further in the agricultural sector, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with the last 15 minutes, I would like to draw my attention to the constituency that caused me to be standing where I am now and to mention some of the achievements and plans for the coming year. But Mr. Speaker, before I do that, I just want to mention that the Ministry of Agriculture, under the Unleashing of the Blue Economy project financed by the World Bank, received a grant of $10 million through the Contingent Emergency Response Component CERC to support St. Lucia's response to enhancing food security in the fisheries, livestock, and production subsectors, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in terms of fertilizer, we distributed 39,100 bags of fertilizer to 3,556 farmers. We distributed 34,000 bags of agricultural lime to 3,556 farmers. We also distributed 2,000 gallons of nematicide to 1,406 banana and plantain farmers. Herbicides, 10,300 liters to 3,356 farmers. Banana bunch, that's the banana sleeves, 774,000 to 449 farmers. I hope the people of Babono and the people of Viewfort South and Viewfort North and all the other constituencies, the farmers benefited from that. Banana spray oil, 70,000 gallons of banana spray oil, free to farmers. Free 70,000 gallons of banana spray oil will not be purchased by farmers. We also have 1,550 rolls of ground cover. Ça c'est bagay nou on ka mette à terre pour empêcher zèbre la lever to 1,950 farmers, Mr. Speaker. 14 bags, 920,000 to 2,500 farmers, Mr. Speaker. Seeds, Mr. Speaker. Ça c'est bagay la kriye gwen nan. 8,500,000 seeds, Mr. Speaker. That is for banana for vegetable farmers, Mr. Speaker, and the propagation units in Union and Soufriere will be using those seeds, Mr. Speaker, to provide free seedlings to farmers. 45 new greenhouses, Mr. Speaker. 45 new greenhouses to farmers. 45 farmers, Mr. Speaker. 2,500 water tanks to 174 farmers, Mr. Speaker. And we brought in 190 animals from North America. Mr. Speaker, the list goes on. Tikiside, 88 liters, a new generator, establishment of 8 acres of pasture in Volet, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, fisheries, 55 bins, Mr. Speaker. 10 new ice machines, 400 grab bags, both masters training for more than 100 fishers. Installation of culverts at Market Estate, Mr. Speaker. Desilting of main drains in Vanna, in Dennery North, Mr. Speaker. It's a long list, Mr. Speaker, and I want to say that I'm very thankful to my Prime Minister, my cabinet colleagues, and the government, Mr. Speaker, for making available those inputs to our agricultural sector. Mr. Speaker, the remaining time I want to just say to my constituents that I will always love them. I am always grateful when I stand in this august chamber to give them the quality representation that they deserve, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I want to just mention a few of the projects that we've done. And Mr. Speaker, it is we have now completed the Lakai Nursery Ring concrete road. We completed 2 footpaths, one by the tamarind tree in Lakai and the other next to the IRDC, starting next to the IRDC, Mr. Speaker. In the coming year, we will be constructing a new concrete road going towards Lenisha. We will also be working on some drainage project by Maureen, that is in Lakai. We will, in the next few days, be installing free 1,500 gallons water tanks at the top of Lime because they are going through a serious problem with water, Mr. Speaker. The new road in Green Mountain is completed. A new road, Mr. Speaker, concrete road leading to Gasper Drive, and that's a road that was supposed to have been completed many years ago, but under the previous government, after contracts had been awarded to certain individuals, it was stopped. Mr. Speaker, this road is completed. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, we are rehabilitating the Dennery Multipurpose Center. We are constructing a new change room and toilet block, thanks to the Minister for Sports for making this happen. And we are also blocking the side of the Dennery football stands. Mr. Speaker, you create un texte you create tout qualité non. Mais moi voulais dire avant moi venir là pas tenir comme ça. Et puis because la nion nous kay faire ça nous pour faire pour nous faire plus confortable by moun là yo vinn là. Mais moi voulais dire avant moi venir là pas tenir yon qui était là. Mr. Speaker, I am very happy to have made this presentation today, Mr. Speaker, but there are some people I want to thank. I want to thank my PM and my cabinet colleagues for all the support throughout the years, my permanent secretary, my deputy permanent secretary, the heads of department, of the staff of the ministry, and all staff of the ministry, Mr. Speaker, key stakeholders like CADI, FAO, ICA, ICDF, Mr. Speaker, my Dennery South Constituency Council, my Dennery South Constituency Group, special mention to Mr. Mike Chitoli and Winsbert Ricky Felix for all your support throughout the years, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to the people of Dennery before I close to say that we have a lot of work to do. We've done quite a bit in just less than 4 years. Mr. Speaker, I will continue to work with the people of Dennery South. and I know they have all confidence in me to serve them in the next general elections, and until I'm ready to say, that's it for me. I want to say a big thank you to them, Mr. Speaker, and to let them know Alfred Stabbats Prosper will always love them from the bottom of my heart. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Member for Mico North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, let me begin by extending my heartfelt gratitude to the people of Mico North for entrusting me with this unique and sensitive responsibility of representing them in this honorable house. For the past 4 years, I have had the honor and I have had the privilege of serving as the parliamentary representative for this resilient and proud constituency. Mr. Speaker, it has been a journey filled with challenges, growth, and one filled with profound fulfillment. And I am truly humbled by the unwavering support and the love that I have received throughout this time. To the constituents of Mico North, the men, the women, the children who keep chanting, Jerry, Maya, when I pass, I say thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for walking with me and for reminding me every single day of the strength and spirit of our community. I remain committed to you, and I am confident, I am extremely confident, Mr. Speaker, that whenever the Prime Minister chooses to ring the bell, there will be one and only one N representing the people of Mico North. And that N will be no other, Mr. Speaker, but your humble servant, Jeremiah Norbert. Cell N, say JN. Mr. Speaker, before I delve into the substantive matters before us today, I wish to take a moment to express my deepest condolences to the family and loved ones of the late Claude Stephen, who is being laid to rest this afternoon, and unfortunately, I am here and unable to attend his funeral. But Claude was a jovial, hard-working young man whose life was tragically cut short in a freak accident when a branch fell on him a few weeks ago. May his soul rest in perfect peace. And we had a series of these freak accidents happening within a short space of time, Mr. Speaker. And may his family find comfort in this difficult time. Now, Mr. Speaker, what we witnessed on Tuesday evening during the presentation of the budget address by the Honorable Prime Minister can only be described or dubbed as a masterclass. It was a display of vision, leadership, and unshakable commitment to the people of St. Lucia. The Prime Minister has undoubtedly stunned many he has inspired most, and quite frankly, he has placed a spoke in the tire of the opposition. There isn't much, if anything, that the opposition can genuinely rebut. And I see the member from Choiseul Saltiba shaking his head. But knowing them as we do, Mr. Speaker, I can almost predict their narrative. They will claim that this is an election budget. They will argue that some promises are unachievable. And as usual, they may even accuse this government of deception. But Mr. Speaker, what they will never be able to do, what they will never succeed in doing, is discrediting the address or fooling the discerning people of St. Lucia. As the youngest parliamentarian in this honorable house, I stand here, and you know, Mr. Speaker, I heard the member for Babuno asking whether I still have that title. At the rate that we're going, it is almost obvious that I am going to retain this title come next election. And I say that because the only new members I see coming, they will be coming on my right. And I don't know that these members are going to be any younger than I am. But as the youngest parliamentarian in this honorable house, I stand today. Yeah, when I said they're going to be on my left, I think the entire chamber is going to be clad in one color. The ties might be like mine. I stand here, Mr. Speaker, proud to be part of Team Labour. Proud to serve under the leadership of Philip Joseph Pierre. I can go anywhere in St. Lucia or the region and boldly declare my allegiance to this government and its leader. And I say that, Mr. Speaker, because there are other individuals who go around who say they are so-called potential candidates. There are other ends, and when they are asked, but why are you supporting this particular leader on the other side? They go and they say, don't worry, support me, and when I get in, I will throw him out. That's the intention. Mr. Speaker, as a young man, I heard that the member for Choiseul is saying that too, but I doubt that is the case, Mr. Speaker. Although sometimes we see two different members when he has people on his right, is somebody else. Today he's my friend, he's smiling for me. Tomorrow I'm not sure that this will be the same. But Mr. Speaker, I can go anywhere in St. Lucia, and I can give anybody in St. Lucia or anywhere in the region 10,000 reasons why I'm proud to call Philip Joseph Pierre my leader. And I can stand by that. And I will never, ever say that support me and I will try to oust Philip J. Pierre. I'm proud to call Philip Joseph Pierre my leader. Mr. Speaker, God has truly blessed me to become a politician at a time when Philip Joseph Pierre serves as Prime Minister. I wholeheartedly embrace the philosophical underpinnings that guide this party. While I may not always agree with every decision, I will always defend this Prime Minister. You know why? Because I trust him. And I see firsthand, I see the love, the respect, and the vision that he holds for this country. And I say, again, the vision that he holds for our beloved country, St. Lucia. In the past 4 years, Mr. Speaker, I have seen in Philip J. Pierre a man who genuinely cares, a man who hurts when St. Lucian hurt, a man who is driven by one purpose, and that is the advancement of St. Lucia and St. Lucians. And this is evident in every decision, in every initiative, and in every policy which he champions. Mr. Speaker, I speak not just in support of this budget, but to also shine a light on the policies that are embedded in it, the policies that reflect the heartbeat of this administration, the empowerment of our people. I am proud, deeply proud, to be part of a government that chooses discipline over recklessness. I'm proud to be part of a government that chooses vision over vanity, and a government that chooses people over politics. We are closer to the end of this term than we are to the beginning of it. And it would have been easy for the Prime Minister to chase headlines and make splashy promises. You remember, Mr. Speaker, sometime in 2021, when the then government presented their budget, and they presented to you a box with claddings and all sorts of renderings, and they said all sorts of things, made splashy announcements, because they believed that they could have fooled St. Lucians. They believed that St. Lucian was going to buy into the fancy pictures, flashing mirrors, as you call them. But you know what this Prime Minister did, or what he continues to do? In his wisdom and in his humility, he reminds us, especially myself, the member for Grosile, member for Ancillary Canneries, he reminds us, guys, I'm on my way out. All of you all know I'm on my way out. It's the old fellas I lay in the foundation for. And that is the mark of true leadership. And in this budget, we see that foundation being poured. Solid, intentional, and people-focused. Let us begin with a flagship initiative. Not just of years, we'll get there. The Youth Economy Agency, Mr. Speaker. The brainchild of the Honorable Philip J. Pierre. He promised in 2021, and he delivered in full force. And the results, they speak for themselves. St. Lucia is now experiencing the lowest youth unemployment rate in our history. That's not luck, Mr. Speaker, or as some others would call it, it did not happen fortuitously. That's belief in our young people. That is policy. That is planning. And that is the shared belief of this cabinet and this government in the young people of St. Lucia. Over 4,200 young persons have engaged with the youth economy. More than 1,100 have received grants and loans totaling to over $6.6 million. And these are not handouts, these are investments. Many of these young people would have never been able to access credit through traditional institutions. But through this initiative, dreams have turned into thriving small businesses. And as the Prime Minister said, this is not merely an economic program. It is a declaration of belief. Our young people matter. Their ideas matter. Their dreams are worth the investment. And he is right. So, Mr. Speaker, when Larry and Josie and all the others from Mikud North see me, I can look them in the eye and tell them, we didn't just give you jobs. We gave you the tools you needed to build your own. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister and this government believes in the ability of its young people. Unlike some other doubting Toms who think that St. Lucia should only have workers, and they have done absolutely nothing but denigrate our people, insult them, disrespect our professionals, and call us all sorts of names. They refer to us as non-entities, young mothers as breeders of criminals, Mr. Speaker, and the list goes on. And I dare say, we are not like them, and we can never be anything like them. Mr. Speaker, je vais répéter un teacher en sa créole. Gouvernement ça et puis Premier ministre Philippe J. Pierre, les notre gouvernement en l'année 2021, il dit qu'il a mis un bagage qui a créé Youth Economy Agency ensemble. Et puis responsabilité agency ça là, c'est pour une jeunesse koyoye, jeunesse qui pas kay ça à l'aide de banque et puis pour yo ça prendre loan, pour yo ça ouvrir business. Yo kay une opportunité through agency ça là, ko yo kay ça hen l'argent, yo kay ça un training, yo kay ça un monde pour chebe la main yo et puis marcher et puis mouche yo manière pour ouvrir business, pour faire garder business yo profiter et puis pour manager business yo. Et puis depuis le gouvernement ça là ouvert agency ça là nous cette ici c'est plus jeunesse en travail parce que nous a jamais eu en histoire cette ici avant. À présent nous n'est plus jeunesse qui travaille cette ici parce que pièce temps avant. Ça nous c'est 4200 personnes jeunesse marcher aller à des agency ça là et puis aller parler by ces gens qui là. Nous ayons 1100 jeunesse yo joindre l'argent pour yo ça ouvert business yo. Et puis yo joindre l'argent qui a monté pour 6.6 millions de dollars. Ce gouvernement ça là a mis 6.6 millions de dollars à la main jeunesse so yo ça ouvert own business yo ça commencé own business yo. Et puis premier ministre ça l'a dit comme ça ils savent c'est pas tout le monde qui n'a même chance là. C'est pas tout le monde qui a une opportunité pour ça joindre l'argent à des banques. C'est pas tout le monde qui a ça monter descendre à des credit union et puis yo a ça joindre un monde et ben yo ni nene be parent pour ouvrir la porte ba yo pour ça commencer business yo. Et puis là nous recogniser que nous avons un problème là premier ministre mettait ba ensemble et que ça travaille tellement bien nous dans situation que nous ni jeunesse presque dernier jeunesse cette ici à présent yo ka travail. Et puis nous a dit c'est pas en faveur nous qu'a faire ces jeunesse là mais nous en situation que yo besoin et puis nous ca ba yo ça yo besoin. Et puis les moyens jeunesse commune moi là ni plusieurs jeunesse commune qui a bénéficié de ces programmes ça là et puis les moyens yo now mais ça garder de zéro et puis dit yo ça nous fait ba yo c'est pas en faveur nous fait ba yo c'est pas l'argent nous juste mettre dans main yo mais nous ba yo opportunité pour commencer own business yo. Nous ba yo opportunité pour yo ça commencer faire bagay by koyo et puis by famille yo. Mr. Speaker, this Prime Minister et puis gouvernement ça là nous calculer la jeunesse ça pour que on affaire yo. Et puis c'est pour ça nous ca mettre bagay weg by ces jeunesse ça là. And it is this same vision that extends into the MSME loan grant facility. Over 450 micro, small and medium-sized businesses have been approved and supported with over $6.9 million. And this is more than just support. It is a signal that this administration trusts the ability of St. Lucians to compete on the global stage. When others occupy the seats of governance, they tax you even for charcoals. But we are not like them, and we will never be like them. So we are equipping you to build, to expand, and to trade. And that is what you call economic empowerment, Mr. Speaker. That is the St. Lucia Labour Party philosophy, one of bread, freedom, and justice in action. Now let's turn to land and home ownership. Mr. Speaker, this is the very foundation of wealth creation. And on page 64 of the Prime Minister's budget address, you will find our land rationalization and housing development policy. This year, legislation will be introduced to regularize long-standing settlements, and if you've occupied less than 8,000 square feet of crown land for over 30 years, we will help you secure title to that land. Mr. Speaker, we know the power that comes with land ownership. It opens doors to mortgages, to education, to entrepreneurship, and to generational wealth. In Volet, in Mikud, we have over 80 families residing on state lands, some of them since before I was born. And this government is saying to these people, Mr. Speaker, that you deserve to own, to build, and to pass on what is rightfully yours. We are not saying to go and squat. We are not saying to just go and now occupy lands because of this pronouncement. But we are saying that we see you and we believe your contribution matters. Let us give you the dignity of ownership. Now, contrast this, Mr. Speaker, with what others did. Gave away our lands to foreigners, our state lands, for $1 an acre. They empowered outsiders. We empower St. Lucians. Mr. Speaker, by now I'm hoping that you're seeing the vision that this government have for our St. Lucian people. and you're understanding what I mean when I say that we are not like them and will never be like them. To my people in your extension, in Mikud, Mr. Speaker, I hear your concerns about the Trimase lands. Let me say this clearly. The Prime Minister has instructed the Ministry of Housing to take the necessary steps to regularize your tenure while ensuring that fairness is given to the landowners. And I will be working closely with these agencies to ensure that you will no longer be called squatters, but you are going to be called owners. And I know that there are people like Freddie in Lapuette, Miss Cece, Labas, Miss Unesta, Pepet, and Virgie in Volette, and the men and women in New Extension who will welcome this policy. This will bring us one step closer to attaining economic freedom in Mikud North. Mr. Speaker, I will dire that gouvernement mette bagay en wèg, mette bagay en place, bay moun qui ka occupé terre gouvernement. L'année chay moun tout partout li on set ici, yo ka wete à sous terre gouvernement, à de ces moun ça ka wete là pour toute l'année, 15 l'année. L'année moun ka wete là en mopo nous na famille qui a sous terre gouvernement pour en 100 l'année et puis yo ka payer l'oreille tous les mois pour en haut en 100 l'année et puis c'est moun ça là qui a occupé terre gouvernement. Et puis nous savons ça en terre ça fait by famille, ça fait by un jeune homme qui voulait aller à l'école, ça fait by un maman qui voulait mettre un chou à soukaili. Et puis nous avons dit, nous mettons bagay, nous avons policy en place pour que les gens qui a soutenu le gouvernement pour toute l'année, après le gouvernement qui a dit, que nous avons nous choté ça là, nous avons choté ça ou pas qu'à gouvernement comme, mais choté ça qu'à ça. Choté ça ou qu'à ça point papier et puis qu'à ça de buckle et puis qu'à ça point un mortgage pour mettre un chou à soukayo. Choté ça ou qu'à ça de buckle et puis vous ça mettez là et puis vous avez issue à l'école et puis nous avons fait ça pour voir that monde cette ici ça joindre notre chose cette ici et que ça créer ça yo ça nous est l'autre side là l'autre gouvernement est là là yo prêter gouvernement nous ça yo fait que gouvernement yo prêter gouvernement yo bay monde qui sort l'autre pays pour $1 par acte et puis là ni monde cette ici qui passe à côté yo kay rester et puis top jour cordia nous still ni problème et puis même développement ça là et puis terre ça là juste là car acide là et puis rien pas qu'à faire et puis so nous voulons dire Jean cette ici qui a été à soutenir gouvernement pour en haut toute l'année that nous kay bay zo terre ça là so c'est moun qui a volette là ben monsieur C monsieur Nesta Miss Aiza toutes ces gens volettes là qui a été à soutenir gouvernement tant qu'à arriver ko ou kay ça chote ça ou kay ça ni a dit non et puis ou kay ça quitter by famille ou kay ça quitter by issue et ou ça aller buckle et puis chote et c'est moun qui tout massé parce que c'est ça là c'est pas terre gouvernement ou kay été à soutenir ou kay tout massé estate gouvernement kay mette bagay en wèg pour that nous vini et puis a bay ministre qui ni responsabilité pour kay et puis gouvernement local yo a bay yo premier ministre a bay yo directive pour that yo aller puis yo faire ça qui nécessaire pour nous ça prendre ces terres ça là nous kay payer c'est mettre terre ça pour ces terres nous kay couper ça ka faire créer subdivide et puis nous kay bay c'est moun ka rete à ces terres ça choter ça pour koyo et puis toutes ces bagages ça nous ka faire c'est pour that Jean cette ici ça joindre notre chose cette ici pour koyo et puis nous croire that you deserve a chose cette ici pour koyo et puis nous ka mettre bay un match pour that tout juste ici ça ni un choté mais moi voulais dire aussi that ça c'est pas invitation pour ou qui pas ou qui ni on choté pour courir à rester le choté gouvernement et dit parce que gouvernement ka bay monter gouvernement that après ou entitled point c'est pas ça nous ka dit monde mais nous ka dit monde qui a là ou ani famille là ou a établi là that nous ka mettre bagay place ba ou so ça hen choté ça là. Mr. Speaker, another avenue of empowerment is through our community tourism initiative. This sector has long been our main economic driver, yet our people have been left behind. And you've heard the minister said on you on numerous occasions that we need to see greater participation of locals within the tourism industry. We need to see our people working and becoming owners, but not working necessarily as servers and support staff. We believe in St. Lucian owners and not just St. Lucian workers. And through this initiative, I've watched Alvin flourish with his ATV experience stores in Micoud, and Marva saw with kayak on the bay in Pralin. Mr. Speaker, the government's philosophical position is that it must create opportunities for wealth enhancement and creation of generational wealth, so that each generation can be better off than the previous one. Marva's young son, Lucas, is probably 6 now, Mr. Speaker. He is already positioned, because of the community tourism initiative, is already well positioned for future success. And that is what we mean by generational wealth. That is generational wealth in motion. Mr. Speaker, let me just illustrate to you quickly how this Prime Minister trusts his people and how we are not like them. You remember, Mr. Speaker, when there was a conversation about the laptop program under the previous administration? And then, I won't say Kika and Kesa, but remember the laptop program was discontinued for one reason and another, and then they were replaced by some e-books, and we had the responsibility to pay exorbitant licensing fees to some agency. I'm not sure if it's foreign or local, but the government, this government, trusts the ability and competence of its people. And what we did, not only did we reinstate the laptop program, Mr. Speaker.
Member from Mico South.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On a point of order, the member is misleading the House.
In what way?
The member is indicating that he paid an exorbitant license fee for the laptop. If I recollect, Mr. Speaker, the license fee was being paid for by the government. So I don't know where the member is getting this information from, whether he, first of all, paid it, but there's an absolute untruth that any person in St. Lucia was asked to pay for the license fee.
He didn't say that.
That's what he said. That's what he said. What did he say, Mr. Speaker? So I can be corrected.
We as in the government.
We as the government?
Yeah, that's what you're saying, we as a government.
So as long as we understand that, no, it's very clear.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, again, I will say, Mr. Speaker, again, I will say that this government and this administration trust the ability and the competence of its local people. And what we did was not only did we reinstate the laptop program, but we trust St. Lucians to create the educational content for these programs. Mr. Speaker, when it came to the audit at St. Jude's, we didn't outsource consultants at any high cost. We trusted the locals at no cost to the state, Mr. Speaker, to conduct the audit for St. Jude's. Another glaring example of the trust that we place in the professionals here in St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker. The budget preparation, Mr. Speaker. No expensive foreign consultants. We put our faith in the Ministry of Finance and the staff of the Ministry of Finance and the Budget Department. Mr. Speaker, while others insulted our medical professionals, you know what the Prime Minister did? Whilst others said that when the time comes for them to seek medical attention, that they take a plane and they go overseas for fear that they may be administered with the wrong medication because they have no trust in our local professionals, Mr. Speaker. You know what the Prime Minister did? The Prime Minister praised our healthcare professionals. He created scholarship incentives for aspiring nurses, Mr. Speaker. And he created an environment that is more conducive for the people within the medical fraternity. Mr. Speaker, we are not like them, and we will never be like them. We believe in the power, the resilience, and the brilliance of our people. And you know, Mr. Speaker, they may look down on Jeremiah's mother because she's not from a prominent family. or even Kenson's mother, Mr. Speaker, because she's just a little lady in Grozile. She has no big business. She has no big name as a businesswoman. But we, Mr. Speaker, under Prime Minister Pierre, believe that greatness can come from absolutely anywhere. It does not have to stem from a big name or from a big company. And whilst the opposition waits for the Prime Minister to fail, you know what he does? He continues to grow this economy year after year after year, proving them wrong and proving St. Lucians right. Proving St. Lucians right by the choice that they made on July 26, 2021. Under his watch, unemployment has dropped to 10.6% in 2024 and has reached single digits in the first quarter of this year, the lowest on record. And that, Mr. Speaker, is why I can say without hesitation that we are not like them and we will never be like them.
Right.
Mr. Speaker, I now turn my attention to the ministry which I have the honor to lead, the Ministry of Home Affairs, Crime Prevention and Persons with Disabilities. Mr. Speaker, this is no ordinary ministry. It is one that touches the very fabric of our society, and it demands careful, compassionate, and decisive leadership. It is both sensitive and critical, and I embrace the responsibility with utmost seriousness. I will begin with the Department of Home Affairs, Mr. Speaker, under which we have several key agencies like the Borderley Correctional Facility, the St. Lucia Fire Service, the Citizenship Unit, and the Department of Probation and Parole. Under the St. Lucia Fire Service, Mr. Speaker, we have taken decisive steps to modernize and strengthen the St. Lucia Fire Service. And any member of the St. Lucia Fire Service will tell you, Mr. Speaker, that never in the history of the St. Lucia Fire Service have they received even a fraction of the assistance that they have received under this current administration. This current administration has ensured that we have put everything in place for the men and women of the St. Lucia Fire Service. Only a few weeks ago, Cabinet approved proposed amendments to the Fire Service Act. And these amendments aim to bring the legislation in line with the current challenges faced daily by the brave men and women of the St. Lucia Fire Service. A major development on the horizon is the construction of a new fire service headquarters. Mr. Speaker, a steering committee has been appointed to oversee the planning, design, and implementation of this vital project. We have visited 2 preliminary sites, and site evaluations are already underway. Mr. Speaker, this investment complements the ongoing work supported by the Caribbean Development Bank to enhance the resilience for emergency services. This is not just an infrastructural project, it is a recognition of the pivotal role emergency services play in our island's sustainable development. One of the long-standing challenges, Mr. Speaker, has been emergency response times along the West Coast. Ideally, it should take emergency personnel somewhere within the region of 7 to 10 minutes to respond to a scene. In reality, we see response times ranging from 30 minutes, sometimes over an hour, a delay that can actually cost lives. Mr. Speaker, there is currently no fire station between Castries and Soufrière, and this puts immense strain on our firefighters. However, I am pleased to announce that we have taken the firm decision to begin work on the West Coast Fire Substation, which will serve ancillary canneries and surrounding areas. This station, Mr. Speaker, will dramatically reduce emergency response times and will bring the much-needed relief to the West Coast. Additionally, a new cohort of firefighters will soon graduate, increasing our manpower and capacity. And I wish to thank the men and women of the St. Lucia Fire Service for their tireless dedication and their service to our nation. Mr. Speaker, I now move to the Borderley Correctional Facility. Mr. Speaker, the Borderley Correctional Facility currently houses in excess of 515 inmates. And the sad reality is that the majority of these inmates are young males. And we recognize the urgent need to place greater emphasis on rehabilitation. A particular promising initiative was the Community Reintegration Program, and this was funded by the US aid. And this program had already begun showing positive results before it was unfortunately halted due to a stop work order earlier this year. Mr. Speaker, currently we are actively exploring alternative financing to revive and continue this initiative. Rehabilitation cannot be taken as a token phrase. It must be a core pillar of our correctional philosophy. We are also in the process of reviewing the Correctional Service Act and the attendant prisons policy, with the aim of bringing them in line with modern standards and realities. At the Bodley Correctional Facility, there has been a sharp focus on the promotion of commercialized inmate employment, providing prisoners with real-world skills that will ease their reintegration into society upon release. We are also working closely with the clinical social worker, Ms. Melissa Dupré-Rosary, to review the current induction process, Mr. Speaker, as we realize that there is a gap in what currently obtains or what currently exists. Let us not forget, Mr. Speaker, that a significant portion of these 500 plus individuals whom I mentioned are currently on remand. And this reflects a serious backlog within our justice system. And the Prime Minister has taken a bold policy stance to introduce a swift justice system. Although, Mr. Speaker, we have not seen, the system has not lived up to the first part of the word, which is swift. It has taken up some time. However, we are almost in a position where we are going to see tangible results coming out of this particular policy. We are in a position to move with this particular policy. And this is designed to address the delays and improve the speed at which justice is served. Work has already commenced, as you would have heard in the Prime Minister's budget address on the halls of justice. And the vision is to create a space where justice can be timely and effectively delivered. Mr. Speaker, nous avons une situation, mais quand il parler about fire service là avec des naïdi un petit mot parole là sur Bordelais. Fire service là katobe ba ministry mais gouvernement ça là c'est gouvernement qui a metté plus l'argent en des affaires fire service histoire cette ici. La pani pièce gouvernement qui a fait ça gouvernement ça là, j'ai fait by pompier cette ici. Nous a metté bagay en règle, nous a bay ces gens ces pompiers, nous a bay yo ambulance pour faire travail yo, nous a bay yo équipement neuf, nous a bay yo nous a voué yo I train apprendre bagay neuf et puis ça nous a fait nous ouais dat l'année problème misitan et qu'après pour pompier aller à sous un signe accident et bien un signe d'effet parce qu'elle a pas une pièce fire station là qui était castré et puis un mitan castré et puis souffouillé so ça a metté c'est pompiers à bas high pressure les yoni pour attendre pour un signe accident normalement ici posé point c'est pompiers 7 pour 10 minutes pour arriver à sous signe. C'est à dire de ça là, ça fait pli by un monde qui est encore yo à dire accident. À présent, because of manière bagay là et because la pani pièce fire station en mi-temps souffouillé puis castré et qu'a point fire service là délai en haut en éditeur délai 10 minutes éditeur pour arriver koyoni pour aller et puis partir ça là un chai bagay a fait. Ça nous fait pour nous ranger problème ça c'est nous a mettre nous qu'a faire un fire station neuf en mettant Aslawi et puis Kanawi et puis ça a fait une situation que ces pompiers ça répondre plus fast by l'année accident et bien si l'année défait pièce côté de ces places ça là là nous venons sous Bordelais Mr. Speaker nous avons une situation que borderly, nous avons mis plus emphasis, et nous avons plus de temps pour dire, et puis ça nous avons créé Rehabilitation. Quand nous avons regardé qui nous avons aidé les gens qui sont encore dans la prison, aider eux pour vivre ou les affaires. Bah yo assistance là yo besoin, bah yo training là yo besoin, voyez yo travail ou sur de prison et puis les yo quitter prison et puis yo aller, les quitter prison et les quitter prison et puis yo aller dehors, yo kay sa vie et encore yo dans la société et yo kay sa vivre normal et bien vivre la vie normale comme tout l'autre monde. Et puis nous voulons dire cette lycéen that yo pas ni pour juger monde qui sorti, nous ni pour bailler monde deuxième chance. Ou pas ni pour juger monde et bien jeter à sous monde qui a allé prison. Si nous continuons à quitter ça là et nous avons des gens qui sortent de prison, qui vivent en prison chaque année parce que nous ne pouvons pas embrasser. Nous ne pouvons pas dire que nous pas pour regarder, mais nous pas ça courir derrière les nous venons. Nous voulons la société que les gens sortis, nous savons assister les gens parce que n'importe qui ça fait faux pas et puis ça encore dans la prison. Et nous voulons dire nous aider ces gens là, nous mettre plus focus à aider ces gens là sur la prison, by assistance sur la prison, so that les sortis dehors, yo kay sa vie établi ko yo dans la société. Mr. Speaker, I now move to the citizenship unit and recognize the value and pride of St. Lucian citizenship, especially in the wake of our international successes such as those achieved by Julian Alfred and by J.D. Emmanuel. We have extended citizenship, Mr. Speaker, to second-generation St. Lucians, and we are well on our way to digitizing the application process. Furthermore, we intend to transition the current policy on residency into a formal legislative framework, removing all ambiguity and enhancing transparency. Mr. Speaker, I now address an especially heartfelt component of my ministry, persons with disabilities. I wish to express my deep appreciation to the National Council of and for Persons with Disability, the Blind Welfare Associations, and all the other stakeholders who continue to champion this cause. This government is committed to the economic empowerment and inclusion of persons with disabilities, and that's why we have established a dedicated disability unit within the ministry. This unit, Mr. Speaker, will advocate for disability-specific legislation, review existing frameworks like the Building Code, and launch a national public awareness campaign. We aim to make St. Lucia more accessible, more inclusive, and more just, moving steadily towards globally recognized disability standards. Now, Mr. Speaker, on the matter of crime prevention. Crime is not static, and as much as they play political games with it, Mr. Speaker, crime is dynamic, it is multifaceted, and it requires a nuanced response. It cannot be treated like a balance sheet. It must be addressed from every angle with a coordinated strategy. And to that end, our ministry is working closely with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, the Ministry of Equity, the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, the SSDF, the Department of Education, NGOs, because only, and we accept that only a whole of society approach will yield meaningful reductions in crime. We are providing strategic coordination to avoid duplication and to maximize impact. The Ministry of Education will speak to their own efforts, Mr. Speaker, including the hiring of clinical counselors and attendance officers, efforts we support wholeheartedly. We are also supporting after-school programs and the establishment of a juvenile center in collaboration with the Ministry of Equity. On the operational side, we've bolstered the police capacity with over 70 new vehicles. We've repaired the Vieux-Fort police station, and we are well on the way to completing the construction of the new Northern Divisional Headquarters in Grosley. We've increased the number of officers, and we have ensured that the Commissioner of Police has the autonomy to run the force effectively. Mr. Speaker, we've also seen several promotions happening within the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, and I'm happy to be representing the constituency of Mico North, as I know that we have several people within the constituency, hard-working police officers who have been promoted recently. Also working closely with SLASPER, Customs, the Marine Unit, and our international partners, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that we can enhance security at our ports of entry. It is no secret, Mr. Speaker, that St. Lucia does not manufacture firearms. Yet they continue to infiltrate our borders. And we are committed to intercepting and eliminating this threat. Finally, the Department of Probation and Parole continues to play a crucial role in reviewing parole applications and supporting reintegration. We will soon be establishing the Crime Prevention Unit within the ministry, complete with a dedicated research officer to ensure that our strategies are data-driven and impactful. Mr. Speaker, this ministry carries an enormous responsibility, but with the targeted investment, cross-sector collaboration, and an unwavering commitment to people-centered governments, we are confident that we are on the right path. Now let me begin by highlighting, Mr. Speaker, let me just highlight an important policy decision that affects every St. Lucian: the return to the 10-year passport. Mr. Speaker, prior to 2006, our passports were valid for 10 years. But due to issues of fraud and tampering, that period was reduced. Today, with the implementation of machine-readable passports, which are far more secure, we are now in a position to restore the 10-year validity. And Mr. Speaker,
Remember, you have 15 minutes left.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I must emphasize that this upgrade will come at absolutely no cost to the public. The upgrade will come at no additional cost to the public and to the people of St. Lucia. And I know, Mr. Speaker, that the opposition may now want to claim this idea, but we've grown accustomed to the chorus of the wooders, the shooters, and the cooters. And this government is about action, this government is about delivering, and that is exactly what we are doing in relation to the 10-year passport. Mr. Speaker, this budget leaves no one behind. Whether you are a farmer, a teacher, youth, a senior citizen, there is something in it for you. And if we look at agriculture, in Micoud North, agriculture remains the lifeblood of our economy. And I'm pleased to report, and we heard it from the minister, that we have seen a 9.4% increase in non-banana crop production. And this is because of the work of persons like Bolo, like Bogles, Mr. Louis, who have successfully transitioned from bananas to dashing. In fact, Micoud North is preparing to harvest several tons of dashing, Mr. Speaker. And I urge the ministry to assist us in collaboration with the Ministry of Commerce through Export St. Lucia. I urge that the ministry can collaborate and assist these farmers in sourcing markets for this dashing. Mr. Speaker, I must thank the Minister of Agriculture for the provision of water tanks, for the provision of fertilizer, the lime, the oil, and even the emergency financial support during difficult times. These interventions are truly making a difference in Micoud North. I've seen firsthand the importance of having a water tank on a farm. Only yesterday, I visited 2 farms in Trumasi, where the farmers had difficulties in accessing water, Mr. Speaker. And I know that it will definitely contribute to an increase in yield had these farmers had access to water tanks. So I commend the Minister of Agriculture for his work and for what he has done for the people of Micoud North. I also thank him for the work that he has done in fisheries in Micoud North as well. As you have heard earlier, we are currently working on the building to house the ice machine that was procured through the UBEC program. And we had several of our young fishermen who were trained in the Boat Masters program. So right now we've been able to build capacity as it relates to young captains in the constituency of Micoud North. Turning to education, I'm deeply grateful to the Minister of Education. Under our infrastructure development policy, we have completed the past year's Early Childhood Development Center, which will be officially opened shortly. We have also seen upgrades to the past year's Monipo. Well, we are hoping to see upgrades to the past year's Monipo combined school grounds in very short order, as well as the repairs. We are very thankful to the repairs to the Mickwood Primary School, the Mickwood Secondary School, and the Mickwood Early Childhood Center. In the area of youth and sports, we are making great strides. And you would have seen Keon Castor in his debut, Mr. Speaker, when he took 6 wickets. Stellar performer, and right now we are really missing him as the Monaco Pioneers. And you could have seen what happened. Sadly, Choiseul was defeated us at the last game that we played, but I know that we will come back and we will prevail. But I want to thank the Minister for Youth and Sports, because we now have lights at the Wen playing field. The resurfacing works are nearing completion, and a new washroom facility is well underway for the Wen playing field. In addition, rehabilitation works are planned for the Mickwood and Pastures courts, and we are investing in our youth and creating safer, healthier communities for the young people of Mickwood North. On the road infrastructure, another area of significant investment, works have commenced on the Lapwet Road, and we are moving towards the rehabilitation of the much spoken about St. Mary Road and the Vollet Road. So, Speaker, these improvements are not just about convenience, but they're about improving access, because I truly understand the plight of those persons who have to traverse that road, who have to travel on these roads and endure the conditions on a daily basis. So, Speaker, water access has long been a challenge for parts of Mickwood North, but this government is delivering solutions. The Pastures Water Supply Improvement Project is on the way. It is no longer just being spoken about, but physical works has commenced, and we're hopefully sometime towards the end of this year or early next year to see the completion of this project. And this represents our commitment to providing safe and reliable water for everyone and for every home. This government is also creating opportunities for enterprise and cultural expression. And I'm proud to announce, Mr. Speaker, that this Sunday we will host the inaugural Jazz en Viège at Point Viège in Mickwood, Mr. Speaker. And this exciting cultural event is made possible through the support and vision of this administration and through the assistance of the Ministry of Tourism. And I want to thank the organizing committee, individuals like Louise, Rita, Elsa, Larry, Teacher Ruby, and all the other persons involved. Denise, I want to thank them for Marlon and Diane for their hard work, for their commitment, and for seeing this Mickwood dream become a reality. Before I conclude, I must commend the Prime Minister for his compassionate and progressive leadership. The decision to make workers permanent after 2 years of service is life-changing, Mr. Speaker. Cooks like my mother, Miss Anne Seri at the Mickwood Primary School, Miss Leah, our council workers, and many others can now sleep peacefully knowing that their hard work and loyalty are finally recognized. And to those in the protective services, being able to access their pensions at age 55 after 20 years of service is a just reward for their sacrifice and dedication. And I say that with the utmost sincerity, Mr. Speaker, because I served 10 years within the service. And during that 10 years, Mr. Speaker, I can speak firsthand about the challenges and the difficulties, the strain that comes with this position. And I think it is only just that we made this adjustment for the men and women of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, of the St. Lucia Fire Service, and for the men and women of the Bodley Correctional Facility. Mr. Speaker, the people of Mickwood North have placed their trust in me, and I will continue to work every day to earn it. I thank them for their unwavering support. I thank the staff of the ministry, thank my constituency office, my cabinet colleagues. I thank the men and women of the Mickwood North Constituency Council, and most of all, I thank the Prime Minister for his steadfast leadership. And I close with a verse which says, "Let us not become weary in doing good. For the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." We will not give up, Mr. Speaker, and our harvest is near. And with God's grace, me could enough, the St. Lucia Labour Party and St. Lucia will continue to rise. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand suspended until 1:45 p.m.
Honourable members, the question is that this House stands suspended until 1:45 p.m. I now put the question. As many as of that opinion say aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Sitting suspended.
All rise.
We have just come to a suspension in the proceedings on the debate of the 2025-2026 budget. We heard from 3 members of Parliament when the House commenced this morning. They were the representative for Southeast, Honorable Joachim Henry, the representative for Denver North, Alfred Prosper, and we just heard from the MP for Micoud North, Honorable Jeremiah Norbert. But before we went into the contributions by the members this morning, there was a little acknowledgement and a recognition. Maybe Michael, you could take us up to speed on what happened prior to the commencement of the actual debate.
Oui, merci Virgile. Bon matin, nous commençons, malgré nous commençons en 8 heures, nous pour commencer à 9 heures. Mais la tenue, il y a pas un problème, mais maman est sortie dans l'école qui est Stanislas College en Guyana. Tu as visité, chaque maman est en limo peut-être 20 et 25 maman qui sortit à l'école, c'est là, avec un point de... Enfin, c'est différent, même parlement, tu as adressé, particulièrement speaker, tu as adressé, expliqué par eux qui manière ils ont fait quelques concepts qui ont marché en cette ici. Et aussi, là, tu as aussi mis maman qui a participé durant 6 maintenant en affaires nager. Il y a des gars avec ça qui gagnent, ils fait assez bien avec un speaker reconnaissé. Avec nous, ça c'est un développement qui a fait en simplicité récemment, en temps, récemment. Côté ces gens qui ont entré, qui ont venu même parlement, et bien qui concept avec ces là, qui ont reconnaissé ces gens là pour dire, pour faire apprécier, montrer qu'ils ont apprécié ça, ils ont fait en simplicité. Mais pour continuer à ce que ça veut dire, nous ici, nous commençons bon matin avec après speaker commencer la tenue même parlement pour sud-est ça c'est honorable Joachim Henry. Il commençait avec il va y avoir des détails à ce travail en ministère avec aussi il était capable de ce différents programmes ministériels comme programme Our Boys accomplissement ministériel. Il y a un programme qui est Our Boys Matter avec aussi coup de main Saint-Lucie programme comme ça Step. Il va y rapport à tous ces programmes là qui ministériel. On a parlé à ce ces affaires. Oui, ça nous a un ministre des Affaires sociales. C'est pour chaîne à chaque religion, venir ensemble pour garder de toute manière que ça aider le gouvernement, aider le pays à développer un premier moral en pays. That's
correct. Yes, definitely. Go ahead. You could go ahead.
Après ça, il a aussi parlé à ce travail qui fait en ministère. Et peut-être vous savez, nous, après,
Dennery, yes. So he just spoke of course on he gave overall praise to the budget, and for his ministry, he was thankful for the cooperation that Guyana had lent to the Ministry of Agriculture, particularly in the area of the creation of 2 hydroponics sheds. And he said, he spoke on the advantages of that, being that, you know, our food would be better managed. There wouldn't be much use of insecticides, etc., and pesticides, etc. But all in all, it was a quiet, very quiet morning with the 3 members making contribution. Of course, the House has come to a suspension, and we will resume at 1:45. Where we expect the other members to make their contribution. In Parliament this morning, the Leader of the Opposition, MP4 Miko South, was present, as well as the Honourable Bradley Felix, who represents Rizal. So we join us back here again at 1:45 when the House resumes.
Sergeant 51 Larish, the drill master. Corporal Meda,